And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. I'm glad you're right here with me today. You could be almost anywhere in the world if you're not under total lockdown, but you're right here with me, and I most certainly appreciate y'all for that. Thank y'all for joining. You already know there's a whole lot on my mind. I gotta get off a lot on my chest. It's like a big weight on my chest I gotta get off. Of course, they talk about David Dorn. That whole thing was really crazy. That particular story was kind of hard for me to do. Once I actually sat down and was able to just focus and do it, it wasn't that hard. But before I started to talk about that, it was kind of hard. That one really affected me. That one also, I think, Jamila Bolden from a few years back, the little girl that got killed in Ferguson, Missouri. They want to riot for the dope boy, but the little girl that gets killed gets no riot, gets no protest, gets no nothing. So those two incidents really kind of affected me. Normally, I'm cold heart when it comes to stuff like this, but those kind of affected me. We'll talk about that. Also, we gotta talk about the officers being charged, the other officers being charged, not just Derek Chauvin, but the other 3 officers. And they also upgraded the charges on Derek Chauvin from from 3rd-degree murder to 2nd-degree murder. Not sure that's going to really work out when it comes to the court of law. They might end up getting beat on that. We'll talk about those particular issues and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank you all for being here yet again. You are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you enjoy my content, if you like the show, if you want to support the show, go ahead, click that like button for me. That'll help me out tremendously. If you are on a audio streaming platform, thank you for listening to me over there. You can leave me a 5-star rating, a review, a share, whatever you want. Also, if you're back on YouTube, you can go ahead and share the video. And if you are a first-time viewer and/or a non-subscriber, go ahead and subscribe right now. And when you do so, please click that bell for me. When you do that, I get notified, or you get notified whenever I go live and post a new video. Alrighty. Okay. Adept HNIC says, why do you keep saying Floyd is a drug addict? There is no evidence of that at all. I don't know. The methamphetamine and the fentanyl found in his system by toxicology, by the medical examiner. Just maybe. I mean, if you're not a dope fiend, you're probably not going to have meth and fentanyl in your system. You know, I don't have meth in my system or fentanyl because I'm not a dope fiend. I'm not a crackhead. I'm not a smoker. That's why. But anyway, we'll talk about George Floyd and this drug addictness in a little bit. Let's talk about who's really important here, in my humble opinion, and that is David Dorn. Now, this one really affected me. 77 years old. You know, I told a story before. You guys may not have heard it. You may be new. You may not have heard me tell the story. My granddad actually committed suicide at age 74. Chauncey Logan, you can look him up, Chauncey Lincoln Logan. He committed suicide age 74. This was like right during the time when I think Obama was trying to become the president back in 2007. It was like yesterday. I never forget it. December 11, 2007. I get a call. They tell me everything that's going on. I have to drive to Roanoke. It's like 5 hours or whatever from like where I was at in Chesapeake, Virginia. Drove to Roanoke to go out there. It was a crazy time, man. Like we had to. It was like a big mad dash and mad rush to go to the house. But anyway, that's a different story. The whole point behind that is that I idolized Granddad. That was like, he was a key figure in the lives of many different people, not just me and my cousin that's like my same age, or my dad or my uncle and everybody else. It wasn't just us, the immediate. It was cousins, friends to the family, a lot of different people he had touched along the way in his professional life, personal life, all of that. Now, can you imagine what this man, 77 years old, what he had done in his personal life? This man had 5 kids and 10 grandkids. Okay, Granddad only had 3 kids and 2 grandkids, as far as we know. That's a different story. Anyway, 3 kids, 2 grandkids. This man had 5 kids, 10 grandkids. Imagine all the holidays, the Christmas, Thanksgiving, all that kind of stuff that they spent with Mr. Dorn. All right. So that all of that now is ceased because somebody wanted a flat screen TV. Was your flat screen TV from a pawn shop, no less, was worth David Dorn's life? Was it really? That really affected me because it's like, okay, if you want to kill each other, talking about thugs in the street, that's bad enough because you're still a human being losing your life. But if you a thug and someone else is too, and you shoot each other, I mean, that's just the name of the game. But an old man, really, is what you want to do? He served 38 years with the police and didn't lose his life, was able to make it. But then he's out there doing this whole thing talking about Black Lives Matter. And that's the craziest part about it. He survived 38 years in the St. Louis area, which is dangerous, okay, as a police officer. Then as a police chief, he survived that to be 77 years old, had a long life, big family, people that loved him. But then one night you out here during this protest that's supposed to be about George Floyd and this whole Black Lives Matter, I'm blackity black, police brutality, stop killing black folks, all this, that, and the third, you out there during that whole thing and you die from that. You die because somebody wants a flat screen TV, okay? It's senseless. This is why I say that I don't care if you are a so-called peaceful protester, if you are a non-peaceful protester, you're all the same because you're all adding to the carnage. You're all adding to the massive people that got to be out there that the police got to account for. You provide cover for these people that are out here doing whatever they want to do. If you call yourself peaceful, the only people that I really appreciate and respect are those that are out there cleaning up the mess after it's all said and done. Okay. When the store gets looted, you got glass everywhere, stolen items all over the place. You got exterior wall, drywall, all kind of stuff burnt up, beat up. When you have that going on, I respect those that come in and clean it up afterwards. That is it, and that is all. I do not respect anybody that's out there calling themselves a peaceful protester. And my thing is, okay, if you're out there so-called protesting, what is your actual goal? What do you want to see accomplished? That's what I want to know. Okay, is it more death of black people? You're most certainly accomplishing that. Not only David Dorn, but also Patrick Underwood. Also, I forget the young lady's name. I think her name was the young lady. This was in Davenport, Iowa. Italia. Yeah, I forget her last name, but I know her first name, Italia. A lot of people have died as a result of this. Many more people have died as a result of this than died in the original situation that we're all complaining about, or not we, because you guys don't complain about that. The situation that people are complaining about, they're screeching about Black Lives Matter, all because of George Floyd. How many more black people, white people, Asian people, Hispanic people, everybody, all different races of people have to die, have their lives ruined, have their businesses ruined because of this protest? And like I said, what is the end game here? What is the end game? Okay, if it's about trying to raise awareness, everybody already knows what your grievances are. You don't have any new grievances since the last time you did the same thing with this whole Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot crap. It's been the same thing. So what are you really trying to get across? If you're trying to get across the same grievance again, congratulations, we heard you. But you're not saying anything new, number one. And number two, like I just said, we heard you. We know what the grievances are. So how long must you be out there just doing the same thing over and over again to try to get our attention? For what? How many more days are you going to be out there? At this point right now, what, like a week later? If you're out there for the express purpose of just trying to steal, trying to sow dissent, trying to stabilize the country. You're not out there for any positive purpose. You might say you are, but you're not, because you're not helping. You understand? People that want to go out there and call themselves helping at this particular point in time in massive numbers aren't helping. And I thought that we still had the virus going on. Whatever happened to that? Some of the same people that say that they want to go out there and help and be an ally, all this, that, and the third, were telling me just 7-8 days ago that if I were to go outside without a mask on, that I would just be trying to kill my grandmama. I don't care about anybody. I'm selfish, all this, that, and the third. And I'm just saying that people should be able to go and start their business and be able to feed the kids and stuff like that. You know, basic things. I'm not sure how wanting to feed your kids, take care of your family, and not have the economy collapse around you and not have everybody trying to dive in the dumpster for food. I'm not really sure how that's being selfish. I just don't really understand how that makes any sense. All right. We have safety precautions, safety measures we can do to make sure that everybody's good and able to get back out there to work. All right. So it's not selfish to want that to happen. But now, 1 week later, that's pretty much gone. I don't hear about that at all. It was this whole big campaign all on TV, stay home, save lives. Ain't nobody doing that no more, huh? How you going to have a curfew that nobody follows? You got a curfew for the virus in some of these big cities, but the protesters ain't even following it. So this just lets you know that some of these very restrictive laws only truly apply to lawful people. Lawless people don't care about laws. If you're out there talking about, oh, you got to be home by 6 o'clock, and you got this whole big, massive people outside, peaceful, quote unquote peaceful. And then my thing is this: define what peaceful means. What is peaceful? I saw a story in Richmond, Virginia. Shout out to Richmond and Virginia, is where I'm from originally. The story was that there was a fire truck and or ambulance trying to get to a residence that had a fire, and a baby was trapped inside, but they had a slow time getting to the fire because the traffic was blocked by these so-called peaceful protesters. But you know what, like I said in the previous video, anybody that's out there, you're not a protester, you're a rioter. It's the same thing. But anyway, their path was obstructed by those that were trying to block the traffic. I mean, this is a common thing that happens. It happened before. You know, you trying to get baby to a hospital, baby might end up dying in the ambulance. Now, luckily, they were able to get to the house and rescue the baby. But when you're talking about fires, any kind of emergency situation, seconds count. All right, seconds count. If they get there a little bit too slow, you could have structure collapse. You could have death from smoke inhalation, which is usually how you die in a fire. You don't die from the flames, you die from the smoke because you can't breathe. That'll kill you first before the flames do. So if they can't get to a structure because of you morons out there blocking the traffic, how is that peaceful? Okay, if you are aiding in the protests continuing, which lead to the riots, which are the same thing, by the way, you are not peaceful. So let's go ahead and ditch this whole peaceful protester narrative. You are the same as them in my eyes. I don't even really care. If I had 1 ounce of empathy for you at one particular point, that's all gone. You know, like I said, like I told you guys before, I have an ice box where my heart used to be. And any empathy, any little smidgen, any little drop of empathy is now gone because of what you have done to this man, 77 years old man, killed him over a flat screen TV. You should burn in hell for that. That's just the reality of the situation. All right. Black Lives Matter, right? What about him? Do you see any protests for Mr. David Dorn, Patrick Underwood, or anyone else that has died as a result of the riots? Okay, no, it don't count, right? Black on black, it don't really count. Oh, okay. But George Floyd, his death counts because it was white on black. Oh, okay, all right. Then you want to overcharge him talking about second-degree murder. He's going to end up beating that, and then you're going to be mad again. You'll be right back where you were from the very beginning. You want vengeance. You don't want justice. You want blood. You don't want equality. You want people to be punished for how you feel. The level of punishment has to be according to your level of frustration and anger and vitriol and hatred. That's what it's about. It's not about justice. It's about vengeance. And you can't be a vengeful person in a nation of laws. And how can I say, non-savage, civilized nation. And shout out to Trina. If you don't know who Trina is, she's a rapper, been around for a long time. She had a song with Trick Daddy called about You Don't Know Nair, old school hood classic. She has a radio show with Trick Daddy right now out of Miami. And this whole thing was brought up. Now, one positive thing that I can take from this, if there is a positive thing to take, there's one thing I can take from this. And that's the fact that a lot of black folks starting to wake up and they're starting to realize that all this stuff about Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot, is bogus. It's bogus. All right. We know it. We know that these protesters ain't nothing but rioters. It's the same thing. Peaceful or no peaceful, it's the same. So she was on the radio talking about that. And she's like, look, I don't care nothing about this. You guys are crazy. You're tearing up Miami. You tore up my friend's store and she got kids. She got a family to take care of. Like, what are we doing? And the dumbest thing is people talking about, oh, they got insurance. They got insurance. Okay, how about this? How about, and shout out to King Face for this one, how about I come beat you up, shoot you, stab you because you got a hospital you can go to? Not saying I would do it, so don't nobody report me. I would never do a thing like that because I'm a law-abiding citizen. But let's just say somebody were to beat you, shoot you, stab you. Is it going to be okay or not? It should be okay if you go with that logic of, well, you got insurance. You got health insurance too, don't you? Oh, okay. You can go to the hospital, get patched up. Oh, okay. Oh, no, you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to. Oh, all right, cool. So if you don't want to get hurt, if you don't want to be damaged, why would you have a business be damaged? Personal, it's just property, ain't life. Okay. Well, how about this? You have a house or an apartment. You have homeowners insurance or renters insurance. All right. So why don't I just come vandalize your house, burn your house down? Okay. Why not? Why don't I just come in there and just do whatever I want to do? It's just property, right? You got insurance, right? Ain't no big deal, right? All them family heirlooms, all the money you didn't put into it, all the time you didn't put into it, all your memories, just forget all that, right? You got insurance to take care of it, right? Oh, okay, all right. It won't cover the whole thing, the whole mortgage? Oh, okay, I didn't know that. All right. But you say that insurance should cover all the things that go wrong with the business, right? Where knowing that most businesses are not in the green at all, they're trying to get to the black. Most of them are in the red. They don't really have that kind of money. You might have a front-facing brick and mortar business. That don't mean you're rich. I know guys that had brick and mortars for 20 years and went bankrupt when it was an economic downturn. Okay, just because we're in America and it's the best country on planet Earth does not mean that everyone has trillions of dollars that owns a business. That's not how these things work. You have a lot of ignorant people making ignorant statements. And the problem is that a lot of these ignorant people have high levels of influence. A lot of these moron celebrities opening the trap, talking crazy, okay, about this whole Black Lives Matter stuff, just making things worse. And it's weird that you're seeing a lot of the black women, they're just regular people and celebrities alike coming out and saying this might not be the right move, this ain't really the right thing. But a lot of these black liberal men, not black conservative men, because we all on it. The black conservative men are all on this. We are dominating the conversation from the conservative point of view, in my humble opinion. But the black male liberals say nothing. You got Dwayne Wade too busy playing in his hair with his son, who don't know who he is. He don't know if he's Diana Ross or if he's a man, but that's a different story. Anyway, you got him playing with his hair, dyeing different colors, but you don't want to come out and be forceful against the looting and the protesting. So what's going on with that? You got the women leading the pack. Among the liberals, not the conservatives, not y'all, but among the liberals, you got the women leading the pack. What's going on with that? That tells you the dynamic is just wrong. It ain't really right. But somebody got to say something, and I'm glad they spoke up. Okay, I'm glad they said something because this is ridiculous. You burning up you burning up the homeless man's belongings. Like, what was the purpose of that? You shooting old men, burning up old men's belongings. You burn down affordable housing in Minnesota. I was always told, oh, well, it's a poverty issue. Crime is about poverty. You don't have affordable housing, all this, that, and the third, blah, 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 right? I'm told that's the reason. But then you go burn down the very thing that you say is a solution. How does it make any sense? These people have no moral compass. They don't care about politics. They don't care about anything. I was listening to Joe Rogan podcast, and this girl was on there. I don't know what her name was. Crystal, I think her name was, with a K, like the hamburger spot. But anyway, I digress. They were talking about what's going on with the riots and the so-called protests, which is the same as the riots. And Joe Rogan was like, look, how do we put out the fire? We got a fire going on right now in the streets. People are acting crazy. How do we put out the fire? He's talking about, oh, well, you got to be nice and hands-on. You got to be, it's like, nah. We ain't trying to have people go and, do little heartfelt photo shoots and all that kind of crap. We don't want that. We want people to stop looting. We want people to stop getting shot in the back of their head while they're not looking. You understand? We want that to stop. You're not going to stop these kind of cretins with well wishes and flowers and basketball games with police officers. You ain't going to stop it with that because they don't care about that. They're out there for blood. They're out there to get money. The guys that even admitted, one of these guys, and shout out to Red Elephants, Vincent James, I saw it on his Instagram page. He was like, we just trying to get money. That's it. We not out here really for the situation that happened with George Floyd. We not out here for that. We out here trying to get money. He was honest. And I'm glad that he was honest. He's going to jail, of course, and shout out to him for going to jail. Enjoy jail. But at least he was honest, unlike everybody else out here trying to defend guys like that. Some of these liberals, white, black, whatever, will try to defend him and say, oh, he's underprivileged. He doesn't know. He doesn't have this. He doesn't have that. They're trying to coddle him and defend him, but he knows what he's going. He knows what he's doing. He's just trying to get money. That's it. Don't make it be no big thing and try to break it down. And it's no purpose. These things aren't really that difficult to understand. Just break it down in a very simple way. If you're out here looting a Louis Vuitton store in Lenox Mall, then you're trying to get money. You are a booster, sir, ma'am, saying whatever your gender pronouns are. That's what you are. It's not about police brutality or George Floyd or anything else like that. It's very simple. And I just wish that people would understand that. This is not even something that's really controversial or hard to understand. But I'm able to say it because you can't call me a racist. Really, you can't call me a racist. People have attempted to call me a white supremacist, but it doesn't really jive with me. Like, you see me, I'm not racially ambiguous. I'm obviously black. So to call me a white supremacist is kind of weird. But people have tried to do it. But then when you hear me talk and you see my face and you see how I physically look in person, I'm 6'3", I'm over 200 pounds. Like, there's no way you're going to say that I'm some kind of white guy or something like that. You just can't even really do it. So I can say these things and it gets across. But anybody should be able to say it because it's the truth and it's common sense. It's just like being able to say 2 + 2 is 4. Why is that controversial? It doesn't make any sense to me. But hey, thank y'all for being here. I definitely appreciate you guys. If you liked the video so far, hit the like button for me. And if you are not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe right now and click that bell for me. When I go live and or post a new video, you'll be notified, or at least you should be if the bell is working properly. We got 1,000 heads in the chat. Thank y'all for being here. Super chats are on fire tonight. I'm going to try to get through some of my topics right quick. I got the super chats, and then I'm going to get to the calls at about 9 o'clock. The phone lines will be jumping at 9 o'clock, about a half hour from now. So let's keep the phone calls to about 5 minutes when I open the line in about a half hour. Not right now. Alrighty. Oh, let's talk about not drug Floyd. Let's talk about George Floyd being a drug addict. Now, in the medical examiner's report, they said that he had 2 drugs in the system, and that was methamphetamine and fentanyl. Now, the phone call, the 911 call came in and said that he appeared to be high on drugs when they called him. When they called him in, he appeared to be high on drugs. Now, when he's on the ground, he probably had been resisting before the camera started rolling because people said that, oh, he wasn't resisting. There was some footage that showed him getting out of the car. He wasn't resisting. He was on the curb. But you don't see what happens between the time he's on the curb sitting and when he's on the ground laying. You don't see what happens right there. So you don't know why he was being restrained. Probably because, first of all, he was a big guy, probably like 6'5", 6'6", over 250 pounds, 275. I could tell because I saw him in the picture with NBA basketball player Steven Jackson, and Steven Jackson's probably about 6'8", Captain Jack from the Pacers, and I think he might have been on the Spurs as well. Really good kind of role player kind of guy. He's about 6'8". Floyd is not far from him. He's probably about 6'4", 6'5", a big dude. Okay, I'm big, but I'm not even as big as him. I'm like 215. He probably is a good 275, maybe about 250. And probably about 6'4", 6'5". He's a big guy. So if that kind of guy is like the Hulk on crack or whatever, is acting crazy, what are you going to do to restrain him? They said, oh, it was too many officers on him. The more officers that get involved with trying to restrain you, the better for you, because if you have multiple points of pressure, that eliminates the need for one person to try to go one-on-one and use their weapon. He was 6'7". It appeared like he was 6'7". Thank you, Anna. So he's that big, that tall. You got to have multiple points of pressure to keep him under control so he does not hurt you or himself. But unfortunately, he had a heart attack because of the stress of being arrested and the fact that he had heart problems already. He he had coronary artery disease, hypertensive heart disease, and he was on drugs. So what else is going to happen? If he didn't die that day with the officers, he would have died eventually from living that kind of life. It's unfortunate and it's a shame, but it's the truth. You know, people die from drug overdoses all the time. That's not even an uncommon thing. You know, like I've said before, I'm born in West Virginia. I know all about, crack houses, meth spots, all that stuff. And then when I came to Virginia, when I was like 14, we had our neighborhood become a drug spot. Crackheads running around all hours of the night. I've said the story before about how we were going to move to a different city, right? And we got like delayed a month on the house closing. Now, since it got delayed a month, what happened was some fiends were driving around and a car probably stole it, and then they crashed it into the back of my mom's car and just left it there overnight. All right, so you see that kind of behavior among drug-infested areas. People that are on drugs do things that don't make any sense. That's probably why he was in that situation to begin with. And he would have been there at a different time. So it is what it is. Now they said that they're going to upgrade the charges on Derek Chauvin from third-degree murder to second-degree murder. And then they're going to charge the other officers with what? I don't know. All of what they did was by the book. So was what he did. It was by the book in the police manual. So how are you going to say that somebody did a thing that's, improper or murderous if what they did is in the manual, outlined specifically in the manual? You can do what is in the manual, all right? So I don't understand what's the big deal. It happens all the time in the police department. It's not all the time that everybody dies, but this person was in bad physical health. That's probably why he died. Then they got a medical examiner, a private pathologist that came out and said that, the reason why he died is because of strangulation, all this, that, and the third. You have one doctor that says this, the other one says that, so who's right and who's wrong? I know what's right, regardless of what, is the fact that he was on drugs and he had a heart problem. He had a heart attack. How do you have a heart attack at age 47 if you don't already have heart problems? Huh? You tell me. It is what it is. Alrighty. But thank you all for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. I think the focus should be on the innocent people that died trying to protect the pawn shop. Mr. David Dorn, may he rest in peace. My man Patrick Underwood, that was doing a job as a federal protective services officer. The young girl in Davenport, Iowa, that was just shot while sitting in her car, leaving the protest because it got too hectic and the crowd was getting crazy. Random gunshot goes off, she gets killed. Where's a BLM protest for that or anybody else? They only come out when it's a white person that kills a black person. I've said this over. I've been saying it for years, ever since Obama was in office. This is not a new thing at all. They do this all the time. They've been totally silent for years. I thought they pretty much had vanished. I thought they were gone and had left. Nah, they still around. They doing speaking engagements, going to Google, getting paid $100,000 to speak and stuff like that. But now that you have a new quote unquote tragedy, they get reactivated out there in the streets, and then they go and they do photo shoots and they do photo ops and stuff like that. And then they can get back on track with the speaking engagements. Now, people are going to say that Trump was wrong for his quote unquote photo op in Lafayette Square, or going through Lafayette Square to get to the church with the Bible. But I thought it was a powerful statement to show that, look, you think you have control over the city, you think you could do whatever you want, but let's be clear. I'm still the president. We still got the military. We can do whatever we want to do. We can make sure that this is safe for everybody to be here. You're not going to take this whole thing over. It's not going to be an insurrection. It's not going to be some type of coup or some kind of, usurpation of government power. And speaking of insurrection, Trump has that card in his back pocket, the Insurrection Act of 1807. In times of civil unrest, civil disarray, if it's an insurrection or rebellion, if that's going on, he can send the U.S. military to the streets in the USA. He can do that. He has that power to do it. Now, that's a really last resort type of thing. Your state should take care of that. Your city should take care of that, Bill de Blasio. Why does Bill de Blasio say he does not want the National Guard to come in? I mean, you guys tell me, what's the reason why he doesn't want the National Guard to come in? Is it because he hates police? That's what it appears to be. Look at how the NYPD get treated. They get treated like garbage from the top. And you know why I know that Bill de Blasio treats them like garbage and hates them? His own daughter hates them. Okay? How you going to be the mayor's daughter having the gall to go down to the protest and block traffic? How are you going to do that? Oh, because you don't like the cops. Neither does he. So it just kind of fits, right? And if you've seen her physical appearance just looks crazy. I'm not trying to bash on her for being unattractive because she can tighten up and just take off that crazy, ridiculous garb she has on and look like a decent girl. But she chooses to look like 1987, New York City, Underground Subway, Ninja Turtle, Bebop. She chooses to appear that way because that's how she is on the inside. What's inside is emanating outwards. Her physical appearance is her fault, not due to any kind of birth or whatever. I think she can't control. She put this big cowbell right here because she wants to have it right there. She has the crazy mohawk with the weird puff because she wants to. She has the ear gauge because her appearance and her behavior is her decision. And it comes from the parents that she has, so-called parents, Bill de Blasio and them. New York City, I pray for you guys, man, because I know what's rough out there. You had the virus. That was bad enough. That was the epicenter of the virus. Now, everybody's running around tearing up stuff. Now, my question would be this. Did the virus go away? Is it no longer a thing anymore or what? I'm trying to figure out what's going on because I was told for a very long time that the virus was an imminent threat. If you want to go to church, if you want to go to school, if you want to go to work, you're trying to kill your grandmama, you're selfish, you hate people. But now you got New York City riots with thousands of people elbow to elbow. What's really going on? I'm trying to figure out just because I'm curious to see what's going on here. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, you guys want to see Sierra de Blasio? Hold on. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull that up. I'm glad you guys asked because, all right. Now, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you a few pictures, okay? I'm going to show you a before, during, and after. All right. Let me just get myself together over here. And thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you. If you like the content, if you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up on the video. That'll help me out tremendously. Super chats are on deck. I'll get to those in just a moment. So now, here is Sierra de Blasio. This is kind of a before picture, kind of, because she has the gauges and still has the nose ring, but it's less offensive, it's less out there, it's more palatable. You know what I mean? She has a little bit of makeup on. She looks halfway decent here, okay? Halfway decent. All right, she is presentable. But here is a shot where she's just like, I don't care. She has more of the Bull Dagger vibes going on. You understand what I'm saying? The G.I. Jane on the sides and the Mr. T on the top. You understand what I'm saying? Or whatever that is. Whoever had that box type of hairstyle, the Bert and Ernie, whatever that is. And then the really giant cowbell septum piercing. Okay. Now, here is the mugshot. Now, this is ridiculous. Do you see those eyes? Something's wrong. Are you looking like that because you want to appear to be crazy? Is that what you want? Or do you have mental problems for real? What's happening? And you know what? This is the same person that looks like that. You know, it don't like I said, she could look decent, but this is how she feels on the inside. It's crazy. And if you are on an audio streaming platform, just know that the last picture, the after picture, she looks ridiculous. The eyes are so big, you're talking about dinner plates. And she's looking like really crazy. If you ever wonder what crazy eyes look like, this would be a definition of crazy eyes for 1,000% certain. 1,000%. Alrighty. Is she out of jail? Probably out of jail because ain't no bail for the people that get locked up, which is ridiculous because it's like, what's the point in arresting them? if it's gonna be a revolving door, then what's the point in arresting them? Might as well just let them stay out there, for real. Maybe they get detained for a certain period of time and they can, leave after that just to kind of quell the riots. But here's what I would want: put them in a FEMA camp. Put them in a FEMA camp. You have FEMA camps available. We know you do. We saw those years ago. So put them in a FEMA camp and let them just stay there for a while and have at it. Matter of fact, you can have gladiator fights and let them just do whatever they want to do. Like chickens fighting or whatnot, let them go into the ring and fight like chickens. How about that? That's what I would say. Alrighty. Rob Dog says, shut down barbershop in the middle of the haircut. Pretty much. Yeah, haircut was going all right, and then the barbershop got shut down by the popos. But thank you all for joining. I definitely appreciate you guys. Yeah, no bail. Matter of fact, let me just make sure I'm right so I don't give you fake news. New York City, no bail. Let me see. All right, here's something for National Review. New York's bail reform law. Matter of fact, let me see if I can put it up. All right, yeah, here it is, actually. And this is National Review online, kind of a neoconservative type spot. But anyway, here's the article right on the screen. Police chief: arrested looters in New York City are immediately released because of bail reform law. There you have it right there. So if she was locked up during the whole scrum, during the whole melee, she would have been immediately released. And she's the mayor's daughter. Of course, she's going to get me. I'm surprised she got arrested to begin with. But, I think that they hate Bill de Blasio that much, and then she's breaking the law. So you're not just immune from being a criminal because your father is the mayor of the city. That's not really how that works. All right. Let me see. Here's what the article reads. Most of the looters and rioters arrested by the New York PD over the past several days are immediately released as the direct result of New York's new bail reform law. New York City Police Chief Terrence Monahan told the New York Post on Tuesday. While the city police made over 650 arrests, on Monday night alone, Monahan said that just about all of them will be released without bail. So it's like you fishing, catch and release. We had some arrests in Brooklyn where they had guns, and hopefully Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez will keep them in, but I can't guarantee that it happens. So, okay, you can have a gun on you at a so-called peaceful protest in New York where you got strict gun laws, but you get released. You're out there rioting, looting, shooting with a pistol on you, and you get let go, no bail. And you wonder why New York City is under siege right now. This is common sense stuff. I don't understand I don't get why anybody would not see this. It continues, but when it comes to burglary at a commercial store, which is looting, they're back out. Because of bail reform, you're back out on the street the next day. You cannot be held on any sort of bail. I spoke to Manhattan District Attorney Cy Vance about that. He told me there's nothing he can do. New York City's bail reform law, which went into effect earlier this year, eliminates the bail requirement for suspects accused of most misdemeanors, including burglary and stalking. Suspects in violent felonies are still required to post bail. Oh, wow, that's a good thing to know. Even before the law was adopted, New York law forbade judges from considering many suspects' potential danger to the community before setting bail. So let's just say that you are a guy that is assaulting a little girl or something like that. I mean, how does that really work? Do you get bail for that? Are you considered a danger to your community? You should be, obviously. But do you just get let home and just let go? Is that what happens? This is crazy. So you don't want to arrest anybody in your city that is out there looting, shooting, carrying on. You don't want to have the National Guard come in. You don't want the U.S. military to come in. So what's your plan here, Mr. de Blasio? What are you really going to do? Just let the city burn? And anybody that lives, just let them live? Do we have to purge in real life? One thing that I noticed a lot is people are talking about big cities not really being the wave anymore. Okay, not really being the big thing to do. I knew that from the beginning. When they tried to get me to come to New York to audition for HLN and be on SC Cup show. First of all, that's CNN. I'm not going to do CNN, obviously. But second, I don't want to go live in New York. Shout out to all the New Yorkers, but I can't do it. Big cities like that, I like to visit and hang out. but I could not live there because it's too congested, too crowded, too expensive. And you have people like Bill de Blasio up there that make your life a living hell. So why would I want to be in that kind of environment when I can be down here in Tennessee? It's nice open air, can breathe, it's all good, you know? Or, you know, something like Scottsdale, Arizona, somewhere where it's more low key, more spread out and more chill. Not this big, just, you know, cluster of people. It's too many people. Back in the day, it would make sense to have cities like that because there was less travel. I'm talking about international and even interstate travel. But now people move around all the time. It's easy to get from point A to point B. What's the point of having these really big, tight cities like that? It doesn't make much sense to me, but it is what it is. Okay, so yeah, I'm not a fan. Super chats on deck. Let me get to those right quick. Let me just refresh the screen right fast. And this podcast you're listening to right now, this show you're listening to right now, will be available on audio streaming platforms. There's a link in the description box. Click on a little triangle right there to the right up under the video. It should be, where is it at? Like right over there somewhere. Click on that triangle. If you're on your phone, uncollapse the menu, and then you'll be able to see something that says podcast probably. That'll take you to Anchor FM. On Anchor FM, you're able to get to all my particular streaming platforms. Or you can just search me, ABL Live. Search me in iTunes, search me in Google Play, search me in Stitcher, all that good stuff. I'm going to come right on up. And also, and you guys might not know, but these flags behind me are available through bhedesigns.com. There's a link right there in the box for that. These flags right here, these beautiful wooden flags, handcrafted, American made, handmade right here in the US of A. They're available through bhedesigns.com. You can check them out right there. Also, the Space Force hat, I make these hats. I make all my merch. Matter of fact, I designed that flag too. So when you get in that flag, you get something I designed personally with my hands. Not physically carving the wood, but I give my man a template, says, hey, here's what I want. Make that happen. And he did it. It was beautiful. But I do these hats as well. That's available on my Teespring store. And you can get to that through ablmerch.com. I'm gonna post a link in the chat. It's gonna be a little different, but take it to the same place because YouTube is weird with certain links. YouTube wants me to put a link in the box that would activate a Teespring interface, but it's weird. So anyway, the link I'm gonna put is for anthonylogan.com/store. Okay, now Daniel Little says, Rebel News reporter jailed in New York City. Anna Slats, what happened? What's going on with Anna Slats? How'd she get jailed? Really unfortunate. Hopefully she gets set free. Well, she should get set free, right? Because ain't no bail in New York, so it shouldn't be nothing. Now, if she gets sit in there and then she don't get no bail, then you know it's something funny going on, but I digress. These flags are available, bhedesigns.com. These hats are available on ablmerch.com. Super chats on deck. Let me get to those right quick. Shout out to my man, Jericho Green. If you guys not subscribed to Jericho Green, which you are, everybody in here should be subscribed to Jericho Green. I'm just saying, if you're not subscribed to him yet, go ahead and subscribe to him right now. You don't know what you're missing if you're not. But he says, rest in peace, Mr. David Dorn. CBLM, certain Black Lives Matter. There you go. Man, I'm out. Hey, you said it right there perfectly, sir. Certain Black Lives Matter. David Dorn's life should matter. 77-year-old man giving back to his community, a retired police officer, 38 years in the service, protecting and serving a lot of Black lives, saving Black lives, rescuing Black lives, properly guiding Black lives, including his 5 kids and 10 grandkids, right? He's out there for free, just volunteering his time to protect the pawn shop, and the man gets killed cold blood for a flat screen TV. Does this Black Lives Matter? Thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you to T for your donation. I appreciate you as well. Shout out to Chuck for becoming an ABL supporter. All righty. And thank you to Shrimp Doctor who says, the left is the most exclusive group, so we can't bother being inclusive. There you go. Thank you for that. Shout out to Greg Leach who says, someone needs to call out Steve Harvey on his hypocritical backwards views on current events and black issues when he speaks on his radio show in the morning. Hey, you know what? Steve Harvey is a weird guy. Steve Harvey went to Trump Tower talking about, yeah, I'm open and talking to Trump, all that and the third. Then when he got backlash, then when things didn't go really well for him, then when his morning show audience turned on him, he got a little weird, a little bit different. All of a sudden, start talking kind of. But that's how it is. It's Hollywood for you, right? It's kind of fake. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to Mood Music. Like Joe Biden, shout out to Mood Music for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you for that. Shout out to Hudson Jackson II, who says, some black men who are trying to speak out against this foolishness are being censored or shadow banned. Don't worry, I'm trying to set up a platform to bypass the corporate media gatekeepers and social media censors. Hey, I'm all for it, man. Thank you for your donation. Most certainly appreciate you. Hey, when that gets cracking, let me know. We see what we can do. Shout out to Shalyn Putris, who says, keep telling the truth, ABL will do. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Kim Bone for becoming an ABL supporter. My man, thank you for that. Did you send me an email? I think you might have sent me an email. If you did, you can let me know. I get so many emails, I get kind of lost. I kind of lose track. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me just make sure that I'm not tripping. Thank y'all for being here yet again. We'll get to the calls in about 15 minutes or so. Matter of fact, you did email me. Okay. Let's make you a mod right now. All right. Because I know I wanted to do that, but I had to get you here so I can just knight you. All right. Let's add you a moderator. There we go. Thank you, Kim Bone. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to Trina Sheffy N. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name for your donation with the rocket emoji. I appreciate that. Shout out to Erica Majana, who says, oh, you become an ABO supporter. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Shout out to Remy Lee Jr., who says, I love all your content and your thought process. Hey, thank you. I'm just giving common sense stuff, and I'm glad that people can appreciate common sense. It's kind of a lost art, ain't it? Shout out to Hotep Rail, who says, let's stop doing the liberal versus conservative thing. Well, there is a point of view. There is liberal points of view, or there are liberal points of view, as there are conservative points of view. There is a difference. But thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Joseph Stanley, who says, love your point of view. Hey, I appreciate you for that. Shout out to Stephen B, who says, keep speaking the truth, God bless. Hey, I can't do nothing but speak the truth. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Mandatory Carrier, who says, what about wait for a trial crowd? Hashtag keep fighting. Hey, we'll see about that. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Leslie Bunch with the super chat emoji saying you are amazing. Thank you for your very kind words and your donation. Shout out to Leo Mazzina for your donation. Shout out to Commander Kim, who says, no national news coverage for Captain David Dorn, a good man and a family man, a good example for every person. I hope his family knows we mourn with them. Yeah, and you know what? It's really a shame. One thing I wanted to say was, I wanted to ask, because I've not been seeing any mainstream media on television today. Have they covered David Dorn? Well, I take that back. I saw Fox News for a little bit today. I saw Harris Faulkner at about 1, and she spoke about it, but I didn't see any other media outlets at all. So have they been covering David Dorn or no? Or are they just covering the officers that got arrested recently? What's going on with that? If you want to donate to David Dorn, I'm posting a link to an article I wrote about this. And in the first paragraph, there's a big section that's green. If you click on that section, it should be a fundraiser, okay, for him. It started by Jack Posobiec. Jack's a good guy. I trust him. So I think that'd be a good place to donate. Matter of fact, let me just post the actual link. It's called Fundly. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, it's called Fundly. So I'll place that right here. David Dorn Memorial Fund. So it's right there. So that's straight to his family. Shout out to Boogaloo, who says, for de Blasio's daughter's description, nailed it. Thank you for that. Shout out to Cynthia Hampton, who says, thanks for standing for what is right. What about going on the Breakfast Club? Hey, I'd love to. If they want to have me. They had Rush Limbaugh. That was crazy. I saw the episode with Rush. They got super emotional and didn't let the man talk, but Rush Limbaugh handled himself really well. All right. Oh, NKM, I see what you said right here. He says, ABO, did you see the anti-Trump Pentagon guy talking today? You talking about Esper? I heard about Esper saying that he shouldn't have done the whole photo op thing or whatever, but I don't know about anybody else who spoke against him. I've not really been watching a whole lot of news. I've been watching news, but not all the small stuff. Because they keep covering the same old thing. It's hard for me to see any new news. It's kind of strange. Shout out to Greatness 81 who says identity crisis. She's a reflection of her parents, talking about Sierra de Blasio. Yes, indeed, you got it. Thank you to Clay S for the donation and the thumbs up. Shout out to Richard Seipert Jr. for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to, JD's Progress Second Channel for a donation and the city emoji. Yeah, the big cities I'm not a big fan of. Let's move out to the countryside or to a smaller, more low-key spot. Thank you to Jane Gallardo for becoming a member of the ABL squad. Shout out to Greatness 81 for the donation, who says they had bail reform set up for this, in my opinion, along with the bricks strategically placed around New York City. The riots were all planned and coordinated. Hey, there definitely was some coordination going on. Even NYPD said that. So there definitely was some coordination happening. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Rob Dog for the donation. Thank you to Joker's Deadly Gaming, who says de Blasio and Cuomo are ruining New York City. Yes, indeed. And it's a shame because, Giuliani had said it right. And I think, what's her man's name? Bloomberg didn't do a terrible job. So, it's crazy. Let me see. Shout out to who else here? Hank McCoy, who says you're going to reap just what you sow. Lou Reed. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to, I have a cousin by the same name, Hank McCoy, like the exact same name. That's funny. That might be Hank right there. Shout out to, if that's you, shout out to you. Shout out to Miriam Vidal, who says, no lie, ABL moving to tomorrow as much in New York. Hey, it's time to go. It's time to go. If you're in New York City and you can leave, I suggest you do so because it's just too much going on. Shots Boogaloo says bail reform in New York City was literally prepped for these riots. It's like the bricks, the guy laying righteous, etc. All set up. Hey, Greatness 81 just said the same thing. I think you all guys are onto something. Shout out to I Am La, who says never heard of National Review. Thank you for showing me, trying to educate myself. Hey, yeah, they're a good spot. Patriot Post. My friends over here in Chattanooga, they're an excellent spot. Been around for a long time. It's also a great spot to go to. It's a lot of good alternative news sites that give you, more straightforward opinion rather than, well, not straightforward opinion, but straightforward facts and rational opinion rather than watching and listening to or reading CNN, ABC, MSN, 13 NBC, etc. Shout out to, Remy Lee Jr. for saying, oh, I read that one already. Thank you. Appreciate that. Shout out to, Paradox 8088, who says, did you see the video of John Bones Jones? He was trying to stop rioters. Well, not trying. Yeah, I saw that. Shout out to John Bones Jones out there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Went up to a so-called protester, a rioter, with a spray can, say, hey, give me that spray can. And John, not only is John Bones Jones a fighter and will knock you clean out with one punch easily, he's also real big. So even if you don't know who that is, you're not going to just try to buck on him. He's about a good 6'4", 6'5", so that's an intimidating presence. But what are you really going to do? If you by yourself especially, these guys are total cowards. Shout out to, Jane Gallardo for the donation. I appreciate you. Thank you to David Ray, who says, if I had to choose between voting for Joe Biden and a one-legged dog, I picked the dog. I think you and me both, boss. Shout out to Chris Bussey, who says ABL making common sense comment again. Hey, I like that. I might have put it on a t-shirt. Thank you for that. Shout out to Richard Seipert Jr. for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Stephen Kemp, who says, are the recent polls about Biden ahead of Trump by over 5 points in battleground states real? Can Republicans keep Congress after COVID and riots? There's no way. All that's fake. We know it's fake because it was the same exact thing in 2016. Same thing. The same exact thing. It was no difference. There is no enthusiasm behind Joe Biden. It's all behind Trump. Even non-Trump supporters are starting to talk more like us that support Trump. I think the virus is making people more prone to go and vote for Trump. That's just my opinion. Shout out to, John Matrix, who says, funny how the Communist News Network, aka CNN, doesn't mention David Dorn, but Fredo is okay with the violence in the streets. Checking my head, brother. Exactly. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Boogaloo, who says, you are my favorite channel on YouTube. Can't give any more today, but I want to support much as I can. You are doing such great work, keeping me hopeful as of late. Hey, I'm glad I can do that for you, man. I'm just here giving out just common sense information. I'm glad I'm able to help you. Shout out to Ansel, who says this donation is on behalf of Michael Delia. She's a longtime sub. Or Michelle Delia. Thank you for your donation, man. And shout out to her for supporting. Shout out to Sir Nasty, who says, love you, ABL, but some are here largely for Michelle A. Shout out to Michelle A. Shout out to Harley Rider 1, who says, best real YouTube news program. Preach on. Hey, I can't do nothing but that. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Eduardo Tavares, who says, I'm from Bronx, New York. Thank you for your work. Hey, thank you for your support. I couldn't do it without y'all. Without you, there is no me. Thank you for what you do. And did I get everybody? I got a few more that might have come in, but I got to get to some calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let me get my Skype up and running. If it wants to work right, that'd be good. Alrighty. Yeah, this whole protest thing. Yeah, I see that. Somebody says left on the cause of the protest. Leo says the left on the cause of the protest. At this point, if you're out there still, you're just rioting. You're just rabble-rousing. There's nothing else really going on. Shout out to my man Nippon, who says Trump will win by over 400 electoral votes. I'm calling it now. I think you're right about that. I think it's going to be, I said Walter Mond in 1984. Joe Biden has no chance at all. None whatsoever. Like, I don't see how anybody can think that he's going to win. Hillary Clinton was much better than Joe Biden is right now, and she got stomped. So why wouldn't Joe Biden get stomped? Joe Biden don't even know where he is half the time. How are you going to win an election when you don't even know who you are? You're disoriented. You're lost. You're confused. The Democrats should be ashamed of themselves running this guy. This guy is not cognizant of what's going on. He should not be running, period. But he is. Now, I did not see the whole thing about Drew Brees. I may, I guess, touch on that if you guys can bring it up and fill me in on what's going on. But I don't really know what's happening. Okay. This is an article I'm just reading right here by Googling it. It says, Drew Brees receives intense backlash from star athletes after remarks about protesting the national anthem. Okay, well, I got to get into it. You probably said, stand for the flag, don't kneel. And you got guys that say, well, we want to kneel because we hate America. Hate America so much, but you over here getting money. How that work? But anyway, let's get to the first call. Calling on the line, who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. This is Marina calling you from California, Los Angeles. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm trying to get off TV as much as I can here and there. It's a little bit too much at times. We just get anxieties and it just, I don't know, just being so close to downtown and just listening to everything and, being a little bit manning.
I hear you, for sure.
Yeah. I had a question for you. I don't know if I read this right or not. Somebody said something on the internet somewhere that that Obama's people were coming in to testify somewhere today or tomorrow. I can't remember when it was. Is this factual?
Now, I've not really heard. I'm hearing about that a little bit, but I don't know much about it. I mean, it could be true, but I don't really know, so I couldn't really give you an answer. But I'm going to look into that tomorrow to see exactly what's going on. I may do a video about it if it kind of, piques my interest.
Yeah, because I heard that, and I'm like, wait a minute. I wonder if any of this baloney has. I mean, I know that. I mean, not the killing of the guy, but the rioting and the distractions. And we say that a lot of the distractions happen, and they do it, to kind of get you, get your mind off of what's going on.
You said what now?
I said, how they say a lot of times the whole rioting has been blamed on people trying to distract the issues, trying to distract people from the issues that are really going on.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if that testimony and all these things, everything going on with Hillary, and if that might have anything to do with it. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I don't even know. I don't think so, but it's possible. I mean, if it is, and you got like a really coordinated thing that a lot of people are involved with, It's possible, but I really don't think so.
I know there's so many conspiracies.
Yeah.
It's I'm so sorry. Today I called because my little boy wanted to say hi, but anyhow I got a little bit distracted because I'm just a little disheartened. I was watching the news right now, and I'm just I shouldn't have been watching the news before I called you because now I'm all depressed about it.
Oh, it's all right. I think it'll be over sooner than later because a lot of these things that go on, it seems like it's the worst thing in the world. The sky is falling, and then the next day is over with. So it's just kind of weird the way that society works nowadays.
Yeah, this is just so different. It's so different. Like, I was here for the LA riots in '92, and nothing like this. I mean, the second that they brought in the National Guards, it was over. So this time around, when my husband and I saw the National Guards were coming in, we thought, oh, that's it. You know, it's done. And if anything, it's gotten worse. You know, just, you know, they've gotten, you know, more, you know, roused up, and everybody's talking about obviously the same thing, that Antifa is pretty much working everybody up, and, you know, just getting everybody, you know, everybody's juices flowing, and then, you know, moving everything, you know, one day at a time from one city to another city to another city, and they're the ones egging everybody on. But like you say, I digress. Anyhow, Anthony, thank you so much for putting on such a great show, and you really help us out. In a time like this, I mean, you know, it's good to have somebody that you can listen to that kind of, like, you know, calms you down a little bit like you do, and I thank you so much for that.
Well, thank you for your call and your support. I definitely appreciate you.
Absolutely. God bless you guys, and God bless everybody else listening, and you guys have a fantastic rest of the night, okay?
All righty. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. Started off. And thank you all for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number is always right here in the ticker. Below me, that kind of just goes a little bit slowly. And if you just uncollapse the description box, is always at the very top of the description box. All righty. Again, 434-658-1. There it is right there. 434-658-1220. All righty. And let's go to this call here. Let's go. 682, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Is this ABL?
Yes, it is. Who am I speaking to?
This is Tosh in Texas.
All righty.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. What's going on?
I can't believe I got through. I've been listening to you for like 2 months. It's crazy. Well, I'm just curious. Like, isn't Minnesota the state that, like, it was getting all this stuff, the hype about their protest, right, about COVID? Like, wasn't it the state that had the governor? I'm sorry, but isn't that the state that had the governor that was so locking down hard about all the protests, right, for COVID? Am I wrong?
I think that was pretty much all these liberal states. It might have been Minnesota too. I can't really remember.
It was one of the big ones, right? So I'm thinking, like, I've been trying to watch it. I've been watching Daily Wire and all that stuff, and I've been trying to, like, figure out what's going on. I'm in Texas, so we're like, you know, like, we're guns flying. We don't care. You know, we're going to do what we're going to do. But it's like, I'm thinking this happened in Minnesota, and then this George Floyd thing happened in Minnesota. And I'm thinking, is it a distraction? And I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying it's not real at all. I believe it. It was horrible. It was totally horrible. And I agree that it was horrible. But it's just kind of like, I was watching the coverage today, and I was thinking about it. Like, I'm thinking, wait, that's like an everyday, ordinary day. And I'm thinking about all of our towns and everybody driving around, and I'm thinking, Minnesota was one of the strongest states about holding everybody at home and nobody being outside. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, I'm thinking that it's just kind of a weird coincidence that something like this happened, and wasn't Minnesota one of the states that nobody's supposed to be out?
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same thing everywhere, really, because it was the same thing in New York. New York was like the epicenter of the virus. Nobody can leave your house. Everybody got to stay inside. Now you have the entire city of New York City just being overrun with hordes of people.
But New York, they didn't protest. Minnesota protested, didn't they? Wasn't Minnesota the state that had the protest? And it made CNN. It made all the news, and everybody was saying this. Why are they out there protesting? Why are they? This is a COVID. This is a total lockdown. Why are people out there protesting? And
that was Michigan.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, it's all right. Yeah. Okay. I understand now because no. See, Michigan had Michigan had the guys that were they had the arms and went into the city hall and stuff like that. Yeah, that was Michigan. But
okay, well, let me say one more thing, ABL, because you're amazing. I'm sorry, you're amazing. But I thought about another thing, and I'm talking about white folk right now, okay? Because this kind of goes back to and I'm thinking about all the Karens, and I hate using that word. It's so freaking. I'm sorry, that's not a bad word, is it? It's not a bad word, but it's I hate using it, but it's I think about. I saw that they had this organization at Whole Foods. I'm like, oh, Whole Foods, of course. And I'm thinking, all of this stuff, and it kind of go back to the 90s and the whole Oprah aha moment, and people becoming aware of what's going on with what's going on in the world, and it's just it's not going to stop, because I think that there's too much of a population that thinks that they know everything. And that they owe something. And I don't think anybody owes anybody anything. You just live your life.
That's right.
Yeah. I think you just live your life. Just do what you're going to do. Because I'm not going to lie. I live in a small Texas town, and it is racist. It is. We are a racist town. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say everybody's racist. I'm not going to say that. But I work and I live in a small Texas town. And I'm not going to lie, there's a dark cloud, it happens. It is what it is, but it's America, and you kind of live your life, and you know that there are laws that protect you against that. And if you're going to get up off your butt, sorry, that's not a bad word, is it?
Oh, no.
If you get up and you do something about it, I think it's a complacency. And I think that COVID has generated this complacency of you want to just stay at home and watch Netflix, or you want to go out and do something about it. And I think it's only too convenient that this so happened to happen. Not that it didn't happen. I'm not going to say that, because it happened.
Right.
Because I know there are people that saying it didn't, but it did. But I think it's only too convenient that it's so blown up that this happened when everybody's locked inside. Everybody's really mad. Everybody's really anxious. Everybody's really bored. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, people out there, they pretty much just doing whatever they want. People just trying to get money, and they're just buying into it. And it happens like this a lot when just people want to go out there and do things that they don't want to help you held accountable for. But hey, I got a lot of calls online. Thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love what you do.
All right, thank you
so much. Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. I got the line. The calls are blowing up. So if I cut you a little bit short, I'm sorry, but the calls are really just coming in fast and furious. Again, 434-658-1220. Let's go 720. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is Russ from Denver. How you doing, man?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Oh, good. Well, anyway, so last weekend I was working downtown, and I was working the overnight shift, and it was crazy. There was a lot of looting going on downtown. There was we have what's called the 16th Street Mall, and that entire section normally is extremely beautiful. There's a lot of good shops and restaurants to eat at, and it's a very popular place. That day, I'm telling you, looters just broke a lot of windows, just started ransacking the places. The entire district right there was trashed, and it was heartbreaking to watch. One of the residents at the apartment complex I work at showed some videos that he took of people just taking everything, and it was crazy. We had SWAT team officers out there firing rubber bullets and shooting cans of tear gas. and I could literally smell the tear gas as I walked outside, and I was coughing for maybe about a good 15, 20 minutes.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy because you think, okay, you're watching it on TV and you're just stunned, but when you're right in the middle of the action, you're just trying to take cover. I mean, it's that bad.
Man, so, I mean, did anybody get seriously hurt? Like, what was is it still going on?
Well, it went on for a couple of days. Things have kind of died out, and our mayor put a curfew on us, saying that everybody had to be inside by 8 o'clock. Only essential employees could be out and about. So I have to carry a letter with me whenever I go into work saying that I'm an essential employee, especially when I work the overnight shift. So it makes things pretty rough.
Right. I can imagine.
So that's kind of how we got things going on down here in the blue state of Colorado. People are just, they're not only upset, but they, it's crazy. The whole COVID situation has just kind of vanished out the window. People are gathering in large groups, and not all of them are wearing masks. Some of them are, but it's like the whole COVID-19 issue. It's out the window. It's no longer a factor now because people have ignored it due to what happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota with George Floyd. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. And my thing is, okay, if we don't see a big jump in the deaths and cases from the virus, and we know that something else is going on, because these people have been, from all over the place, not even just from one particular area, but from all over the place, from New York, from the West Coast, going all over the country. And some have masks, some don't have masks, and they're really close together. There's no 6 feet apart. So if there's no big rush of deaths and cases, and we know something else is going on, so that we got to kind of look at that as well.
Exactly. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you about the Rush Limbaugh interview with the Breakfast Club. I happened to listen to that interview, and it seems to me that Angela Yee was like the most reasonable out of the three, because she was asking questions and also giving her insights. But the person I think was the most confrontational was Charlemagne the God. I mean, he was just asking questions left and right, and then was just making statements, not even giving Rush enough time to talk. And the thing is he can't hear very well, so he has his assistant, Don, transcribe what's being said so that he can read it and respond. Because he has a cochlear implant, he's lost 90% of his hearing. So the issue is he's talking to 3 different people, and if you're listening, that he's doing very well, but it's also easy to interpret the fact that you might think that he's being run right over when it's not the case. He just doesn't do very well with crosstalk. It kind of distracts him a little bit.
Right. Yeah. I was thinking about that too. So I was like, I know Rush has a problem with hearing. So when they were just talking over top of him, I'm like, he can't hear that. There's no way he can really focus on what was going on. So maybe they didn't really care or didn't know. It was kind of strange the way they handled it. I think, like you said about Yee being decent, but Charlemagne, his whole thing is to be kind of the provocateur, kind of the antagonist. But Envy is usually the more level-headed one. Actually, he's usually the leader. But what he did was kind of just echo what Charlemagne was doing to a certain extent. It kind of just felt like it was more emotional. It was like Yee was a more non-emotional one, but the men were more emotional people. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, it really was. And when Rush was asking them to define what white supremacy is, because he didn't really know. It's like to those of us out there, white supremacy is, the KKK, the Aryan Nation, neo-Nazis. That's what we think when we hear white supremacy. What they interpret to be white supremacy is, people, the founding of the country, supposedly, built on the backs of slaves, and slavery was an issue, and it's never gone away, and it's only gotten worse, and because the country was founded by rich white men, then that's the epitome of what white supremacy is, and we need to take all of that down. And so that was their interpretation, and it just mind boggles me. It's like no matter what you throw with these guys, and Russia's putting out some good points. He was saying that for the Democrats for 50 plus years have been promising the African American community things that have not been delivered, and yet the same complaints have still been going on for generations.
Yeah, that was a really good part. He did really good when he said that. He just had to put it out there plain, and they really didn't have much to come back on that. No,
it didn't. Okay, and the other problem is DJ Envy and Charlemagne were talking about, was like, well, have you ever had the cops come after you? We've been shot at, and we've been pulled through the car window. And Russia's like, yeah, I've had my car keyed, I've had my tires popped, I've had cops come at. He's like, I've had cops come after me too. And he was speaking of when he was having that issue with prescription drugs back in the early 2000s, but they didn't catch on to that. And so.
But you know what? The thing about it is, that's not the common experience for anybody to be getting pulled through a car and all that kind of stuff. That's not the common black experience or the common American experience. That's uncommon. Most people follow the law. You're not just going to get dragged out of your car for no reason. So I'm not really sure why they would even ask that question as a thing that's like, oh, well, if you're not black, then you don't go through this. I've never been through that. I don't know a person. I know guys that are in jail forever that have not gone through that. So that's not a common thing that happens.
No, I didn't think it would be, but it's just to stoke up the flames. And but honestly, at first when Rush was talking about that, I'm thinking, oh man, don't waste your time. You're not going to change these people's minds. You're not going to convince them. But in a way, I'm kind of glad he reached out, and and I'm glad that they agreed to do the interview. And he even told him that he'd be happy to talk to him again. Now, I don't think they're going to want to talk to him because they didn't like what he said. So, but
right,
it is what it is.
Right, I'm with you, man. Well, hey, thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, take care.
All right, now. All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. Let's get to the next call here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And let's go. 304, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, indeed. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. This is James Markham from Logan, West Virginia.
All righty, from Logan. All righty. What's going on?
Oh, not much. I enjoy the show. I've been watching it for a long time. I'd like to call in and express my disgust for the lack of interest in that captain getting killed, because he's 77 years old. I'm 48. My dad is 74. That man worked his whole life in law enforcement, doing what's right. He had grandkids. And he got killed trying to preserve life for everybody around him. And now I'm white, and I don't think that matters, because this is anger is a weakness, but there is such a thing as righteous anger. Now this man, he come through the hard part. He had to sit. They told him to sit in the back of the bus. There was places he couldn't go into. He was oppressed, but he come through it, and he rose to the top. And then for them, a bunch of thugs out on the street looting and stealing, they killed him. See, I got a friend here in Logan. We're mainly white, but we're old coal camps. I can relate, because the coal companies come in here and they treat us all like slaves. Up until World War II, they didn't even pay the men with real money. They paid them with script. But I digress. I'm sorry. One of my friends, his dad was the first black deputy in Logan County, and me knowing him, he kind of come through the same thing. And he was, I mean, of course, you look at him, yeah, he's black. You look at me, yeah, I'm white. But that's like a shirt or clothes. He was a good person. And I'm telling you, I fear for what's going to happen to our country if we draw the line. There's got to be a line in saying that the communists have ruined. And I mean, the Democratic Party. Now now you got to now remember too. This part of the country's been Democratic for a long time, and the Democrats they're a bunch of they're hustlers. They play. It's terrible, and they keep you down. And see, if you're down, you're mad, and and they prey on people that don't know no better. And I've been watching these riots, and it breaks my heart to see these kids going in and stealing these TVs, these older people doing this and that. But I've seen running around here and there's white people with masks on their face, kind of like you can tell they're doing something. And there's the communists. Because a lot of those younger people, yeah, they're guilty, but, young and dumb and full. And, so maybe, but I don't know, sir, but I really appreciate what you're doing. I mean, listening to you gives me hope. I'm praying for you, brother. You keep it up, all right?
All right, now, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, don't stop, man. Don't stop.
I got you. All right, shout out to the caller coming from Logan. I know about Logan. I'm Canal County born myself. That ain't that far away, right down the road. So shout out to coal country. My great-grandfather was a coal miner for a long time. Shout out to DuPont. Shout out to all the people over there. I know all about that, and people up there, black, white, we pretty much like the same. It ain't really no division. All right, let's get to the next call. And the lines are so blown up. Let's go to, okay, hold on. Y'all just hang on. Let's go. All right, Matt, what's happening? Matt, can you hear me?
Yeah, ABL, what's happening?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain. What's going on?
Hey, man, did you hear that 2 white supremacists just tried to hang a black man in Illinois?
No.
They put a noose around his neck and poured bleach on him and stuff like that.
Is this Juicy Smouye again?
Yeah, he was just out trying to get Subway sandwiches. Some white supremacists got a hold of him. Man, I really feel bad for that David Dorn guy. You look at the coverage of it, and they say that he was killed at a protest. That is insane. I don't know how people are reading this wrong. I've got good friends that are college educated, smart, everything like that. They think white supremacists are causing all the riots.
I mean, that's just, people are talking about that, but that's just trying to absolve responsibility from the black community. That's all. Like, we can say that they're out there as far as Antifa and stuff like that, but then that gets changed into white supremacists, and then it becomes there's nobody black out there. It's like, really? Oh, okay. Well, I'm seeing these videos of black people stomping this white dude almost half to death, left him there. Like, that's what I'm seeing. I don't know what anybody else is seeing, but I'm seeing actual videos of the whole situation going on.
Yeah. You're talking about the guy in Houston that got stoned medieval
style?
Oh,
man.
Jeez.
You seeing some vicious things, but one thing that I always talk about is black on black violence, and you see that kind of thing happen a lot. I've seen white guys get stomped like that before, but you don't see that just normally. But now, since you got all these cameras around and people got a license to do it, now you see it in the living room in full color.
Yeah, that people are making apologies for it. It's strange, man.
Yeah.
I'm out in Eastern Washington right now, just on a little vacay, but people ain't got no time for that here. I don't know, that's that meme, we ain't got no time for that. It just seems to be like a coastal thing or major city thing, and it's got nothing to do with George Floyd at this point. I mean, people don't really care about that guy, I don't think.
Nah, they don't care. Like, it stopped being about George Floyd after the first night, after the first Molotov cocktail or rock got thrown. It stopped being about him.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's all this this debate and trying to get one person to see something one way or another. It's a bit like if you got an ex-wife and you're just haggling over, oh, well, you said this, or you didn't invite me to this party, or or you didn't get me a good birthday gift, or what. I mean, you could go back and forth. I almost think reparations are the only damn thing that's going to fix it, and it's shut up money. Like, here's your settlement. It's over. I mean, every court case gets resolved like that.
I'm trying to tell you, man, like, that is not going to work. You got to listen to me, man. Listen to me, man. I'm trying to tell you, because when you do that, I know what's going to happen because I've seen it. I've spoken to people. I've been to these conferences. They have conferences about stuff like this. They got ADOS conferences. They got reparations. I've been to these conferences in person. They are not going to just take that and just be done. That's going to be the beginning, because at that point you said that you were wrong and you've admitted guilt. So now they got you. Now they're going to take you and just do whatever they want. They might say, we're going to stop talking. That's a lie. They're going to keep on. And then the poor white liberals will come out and say, oh, we're so sorry. Here's some more. And then it would never end.
Well, CNN didn't say they were wrong when it came to their settlement with the Covington Catholic kids. And I'm sure there's a lot of Covington Catholic kids that would say, hey, this money ain't good enough. But it's an all or none situation where if you all want the money, you got to shut up. And we don't have to milk guilt. You just take the money. So, I mean, the Covington kids, you're talking about a easily controlled group. It's like, what, maybe 20, 30 kids? But you're talking about 40 million people. Come on, it ain't going to work. And then it's got to be something. It's got to be generational, too, because now you get the kids growing up. They going to know what's going on. They going to know what's happened. And they didn't sign off for any kind of deal to keep quiet. So it's never going to end. When you apologize like that, you just start a thing. You don't end it as far as that is concerned. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I think the Democratic Party's proven that black people are the most easily controlled group there is. Well, I mean, controlled to... They've been co-opted left and right. I mean, anything good that they have, the DNC somehow finds a way to take it away from them. You got a good point about being controlled, but at the same time, we're not controlled, because if we were easily controlled, then we wouldn't have the whole country on fire right now. We're controlled to a certain extent. That's part of what they want. I think that's a script that. Well, so if they want us to have the whole country on fire, what is their actual end game? To not get Trump elected. The anarchists don't have to have a solution. The people that are, I call them social iconoclasts. Where they want to tear down everything from traditional marriage to gender to, they want to break history and rewrite that. They just tearing it down the same way the Taliban blows up the statues. It's iconoclasm. They don't have to have something to replace it with. They just know the first step is to just destroy what's there now. They're going to destroy tradition, institution, everything, and then replace it with whatever they want. Well, you got a point. Now, having said that, it's going to be kind of hard to shift gears from that to just don't do anything anymore, to like be our warrior class, to just no more. It'd be very hard to do that. Yeah, I don't think they think of that far ahead. I mean, they're just focused on what it is. But man, I really like your show. I'm gonna go down and sit by the pool for a little bit and have a beer. Keep up the good show. And David Dorn, man, I almost cried, man. That I saw the video. The guy was like a fish on the ground, and people weren't even helping him. I was upset over Floyd, but Mr. Dorn, I mean, that really hit home. That's a sad thing, man. These are human beings. I hear you, man. There's no need of this. 1,000%. Thank you for your call. Thank you. Shouts to my man Matt for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And thank you all for joining. Let's get to the next call. Let's go. 714, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
If they want to say
everything's all right, man. I got a little bit of feedback in the background.
Yeah, I just turned it down right now. Can you hear me good?
Are you well?
Hey, how you doing? Glad I got through. My name is Danny.
All righty. So what's going on?
Hey, I wanted to ask you, because I got a lot of, black friends from the past and some current Even I have half of my brothers and sisters are half black and white. And man, dude, why do you think that they have such a tight emotional attachment to Obama, and why they get so angry when you try to have a conversation with them?
Because he's black. Because he's black and he was the first black president in their eyes. Although in reality, he was biracial, but they see him as black. So he was the first black president in their eyes. And he's also a Democrat. If he were a black Republican, then it wouldn't be that way. So, and then also he kind of came off as kind of smooth and charismatic. So they like the smoothness and the first black president and the fact that he's a Democrat. Those three things right there put him into a very high level, like he's Jesus Christ.
Right. Okay. So let me ask you another question. So when you notice this too, and a lot of other people notice this too. Jericho Green noticed this stuff too. When you think about when this really started getting divided is when Obama became president. But when you try to point that out to them, all of them cannot see it. It's like they're completely blind, and that's, I don't understand how that is.
What, as far as pointing out that the division happened under Obama?
Right, that's when it started. And so here's some of the things that I try to point out. If you think about, Obama was the first president to make it legal for grown men, as long as you claim that you are a female, you can enter any female restroom, regardless of if there's a little child in there or like a female. And they just always somehow try to jump around that.
I didn't quite catch that. Say that one more time for me.
So you know how Obama was the first president to make it legal for men to enter the restrooms, public restrooms, or women's restrooms, as long as they claim that they are female or transgendering.
Yeah.
Which left a lot of people angry, especially if I have my daughter going to the restroom and say she's 9, and I'm not going to go in there with her. And then, I turn my back for 1 minute, and then this creepy guy that claims that he's a female or he's transgendering, as long as you claim that and you point these things out to the black liberals and Democrats, they somehow seem to jump around that, and that goes back to what I was saying about why they can't see that he was the first president that created this major divide that we're under.
Right. Yeah. I mean, sometimes people don't want to look that deeply. All they want to do is say, Obama's the guy, don't say anything bad about Obama. And they just shut off when you try to come with anything else. So what you're saying makes sense, is logical, it's factual, but it doesn't matter to a person that is emotionally attached to a particular thing or a person. That's all that it really is. It ain't really nothing else to it. If they get their mind away from the emotionalism and the emotional attachment, then they'll be more opened up to seeing things from a factual point of view rather than an emotional point of view.
Right. Now, just before I go, I want to put one thing out there. Was it you that seen the latest Joe Rogan episode where they had the girl Crystal?
Yes, that was me.
Right. Okay. I watched that whole podcast today, and man, I could not stand it, because even though that girl is white or she's not black, she is an extreme liberal, 100% to the core, and there was so many things that she stated that was incorrect. Did you notice that?
Now, I didn't see the entire podcast. I just saw that one part where Joe was asking her about what can we do to stop the fire. I saw that part, and the thing about it was he was asking her a direct question that she never answered. She kept saying what you shouldn't do, but that wasn't the question. The question is, what should we do? Because you could criticize the methods in which we use to try and put out a fire, but if you have no alternatives, then what are you talking about?
Right, and so she is exactly what I was saying. Some of these family members or friends from the past they're black or half black. They can't, even with video, they can't see exactly what's happening on the video. Somehow they see the opposite, and that's exactly what she was doing. And he had to correct her when it comes to the tear gas. He said, "Well, no, the reason why they were bringing out tear gas is because they were destroying everything, and painting the monuments, the church. That's why they did it." And what was surprising to me is she is in the business of politics and discussing, and I know she's seen a lot of videos. So if you've seen all these videos, why does she see the opposite of what most other people see, the truth?
That's a good question.
I'll leave it at that, and if anybody else wants to answer that, put any comments in the comment section, go ahead. But thanks for answering the phone. I listen to your podcast every day. Appreciate you and Jericho and all the other people. Oh, Ben Shapiro, too. I've got to throw something out for him.
All right, and now, well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thanks.
All right, shout out to the caller. Nick says, have I heard that they're taking down Robert E. Lee statue? What are your thoughts? I think it's sad the liberals are trying to erase history. Now, I saw something about that. Is that in Virginia? A friend of mine on Facebook, Corey, shout out to Corey if you're watching. He posted a thing on his Facebook talking about like victory. What it said. Hold on. Okay, let me see. Here's something from RVA Mag. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it on the screen so you can see it. This is from RVA Mag on Instagram. It says, just announced, it has been announced that the city of Richmond will implement a citizens review board of the Richmond Police Department, implement the Marcus Alert, and bring forward an ordinance to remove all Confederate statues. Governor Ralph Northam, blackface governor, remember him, is also set to announce the removal of the statue of Robert E. Lee tomorrow. Even though there is still work to be done, you did this, Richmond. Your grit, your guts, and determination made this possible. We love you. Now, my question is, the question I had was, did the Confederate monuments come to life at night and kill all the black folks in Churchill and Richmond, or nah? Is it the black folks that do that, or what? That's what I want to know, because if the Confederate monuments aren't coming to life and killing all the black people, then what was the purpose in removing them? Okay? These statues are in places a lot of times don't nobody even really care about. More people came to this statue to protest it than would normally be there any other normal day. Okay? And what they're doing when they do stuff like that is, like you said, they're trying to erase history, or they're trying to change history. They're trying to make the Confederacy be the villain, and the Union be just this glorious, perfect dove and the angel, when the reality is much different than that. Both sides had slaves all throughout the entire war. Matter of fact, the Union had slaves for a longer period of time than the Confederacy. The emancipation only applied to the states in rebellion, aka the Confederacy, not the Union. So what's going on? I was born in West Virginia, right? West Virginia, when the war started, was still part of Virginia. There wasn't West Virginia yet. They seceded from Virginia in 1863, and when it seceded, they kept the slaves they had from being in the Confederacy, brought them into the Union during the war. Now, the war that I was told was about to end slavery. They had slaves that they brought to the Union during the war. And when they did that, you had Union soldiers that came down from Ohio and said, look, we know you got slaves, that's fine, but check it out. If any of your slaves escape to Ohio, we have a law in our books that says we can't keep any fugitive slaves. We're going to bring them back here. So you can keep your slaves, and if they escape, we'll return them to you. So let's not act like the North were just pretty angels with no flaws, and the Confederacy, the South, were just demons. Let's not even do that. But that's what they want to do when they try to remove statues. They try to assign, and then the reason why Robert E. Lee was even in the Confederacy fighting for them, because he didn't want to fight against his home state, which was Virginia. That's why the statue was in Virginia, because he was a Virginia guy. If he were not from Virginia, or if the Confederacy did not include Virginia, he would have fought for the Union, if that would have made sense. Thank you. Got my tea on deck. So yeah, that's just kind of what it is. But let me get back to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Okay, hold on. I had somebody right there. It didn't want to come in. All right, let's get to. All right, Samson Gorilla, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Yeah, man. So I gotta say, man, I'm a little disturbed by some of the things you've been saying, man. And I wanted to call and check in with you about it.
All right, what's going on?
Like, do you really think it's a good idea to put troops on the ground for any reason other than a foreign invasion on United States soil?
I mean, I thought that they had the duty to protect against all threats, foreign and domestic. I thought that was what they had the duty to do. So, I mean, am I wrong about that?
No, but what specifically it says to protect the Constitution and defend against. Yes, you're right about that. But the issue with that is you're not. What you're going to do is you're going to cause a bigger problem than you're trying to solve, because now you're talking about intimidating the people, right? And you're talking about going against the Constitution. That thing is going against the Constitution. I know there's the Insurrection Act of 1807, right?
Yep.
But just because they create laws and put acts into place doesn't mean that it's constitutional. They do it all the time. There's thousands of laws out there that go against the Constitution. Doesn't make it right. The best thing to do is to empower the people. You talked about it yourself. You talked about these states and cities that had the right to keep and bear arms, and they're walking around their cities and neighborhoods with their firearms, and no one dare go to that area to do anything. As a matter of fact, in Idaho, there was a city where they heard that Antifa was coming through, and they armed up. And guess what? The small groups of Antifa came through and they booked it because they saw that the people were ready to defend it. Instead of threatening martial law, which is basically what he would be doing, he should take his executive power and suspend all gun control laws across the board. You know what I'm saying? These governors, they play that game, right? They play the game with the 72-hour gun laws. Like in Florida, the governor or the mayor in Florida banned guns for 72 hours. So when you do that, you're taking the power away from the people, because only law-abiding citizens are going to go by that. Criminals are not going to put down their guns. It's going to make it worse. It's going to create more victims. So what you're doing is, when you talk about having the troops come to save everybody, right? You're talking about bigger government, right? You're conservative. You're supposed to be about smaller government, and the government having less influence in people's lives. Allow people to defend themselves. Allow people to carry their own weapons and protect their own blocks, protect their own businesses, and you won't see the problems you're having right now. In the cities where we're having this problem, you're talking about these Democratic-controlled cities where they can't. These law they can't. And if they do buy a firearm, they have a 10-day waiting period, and they can't get nothing. And so now they're falling victim to these rioters and looters. And I don't agree with looting or rioting. I don't even agree with protesting, because it doesn't do anything. You're just begging the person you're protesting against to do things for you. And I think that's completely counterproductive. But if you give people the opportunity and show them, like, look, this is how you do it. Give them an example of how these cities out here, they don't have these problems because they have the firearms on them, and they're standing in front of their block and they're doing their thing. And so what happens is, man, so now you're getting people to now I need the government for everything. You guys want less government, then that's what we should be preaching. We should be preaching less government. I don't want the government involved. Let me do my thing, right?
All right, so I'm gonna jump in right quick. Now the whole idea about suspending all gun laws, what is that gonna do? What is it gonna do in a place where you had tight gun laws for a long time? People don't know how to use guns at all, and also people that are elderly, old ladies, old men that are not going to be able to physically maneuver and protect themselves properly. And then you have people like Bill de Blasio who was refusing to enforce the law. The police have the responsibility to respond to crimes, lock people up that are out here looting and shooting and carrying on, but they're not enforcing the law. He doesn't want to bring on a National Guard. So if you're in New York, where you had gun laws for a very long time, people aren't prepared to use the guns, and you're in a very tight space, what are you going to do?
Well, there are people in these areas that do enjoy firearms, and they are firearm enthusiasts. They can step up and start training people in their area. Like, but the fire's going on right now. Like, you're talking about training, that's not going to happen overnight. You're talking about what's going on right now. See, right now, hold on. But right now you got the military that are trained to go today. We're talking about right now. If we wait till everybody get trained, then it'll already be over, and the dust will have to clear. You got to just recover the bodies. Like, we got to figure out how to fight the problem right now. It wouldn't be a thing that would be nationwide, like you said. In some spots in the country, it's not even a problem. And if it is a problem, you got guys that can mount up. They can protect their place because they are already knowing what they're doing. They already got their guns and they're good. But if you're in a soft place like New York, LA, San Francisco, they're not going to be ready for that. Even if you did have no more gun laws, they would not be prepared. You think these guys in Silicon Valley are going to pick up a gun and be able to use it in 24 hours? It wouldn't be those guys. It would be, first of all, those guys in Silicon Valley. You talking about the tech giants, right? They're going to have armed security. They good. They good to go. What I'm talking about is people that are trained. There are people in these areas. I live in LA, right? I'm trained. I'm well versed in the use of firearms, and I know people that are ready and willing to do this thing. But the problem is they're stifled by these gun control laws in California. So you wouldn't know if they were there, right? But back in '92, we had the riots in LA, and you had the rooftop Koreans. They didn't care about no gun control laws. You had the rooftop Koreans protecting their businesses. You know what I'm saying? So people will step up. It won't be as many as these other areas, but you'll have enough people to show force to say, look, if you try something, it's going to be a problem. As a matter of fact, there was a neighborhood that was controlled by cholos, right? Cholos that are kind of like under the umbrella of the cartels. They tried to take that business up to that area. They started shooting at them, and they ran off. Now, you're talking about people that aren't legally capable of carrying, but they're doing it. What I'm saying is you have to empower the people that allow the law to hold them back. You see what I'm saying? Some people aren't going to do that. Some people are just going to do their thing. But if they get enough encouragement from their leaders to say, look, I know we're in a tough time. You want to protect the neighborhoods. The police can only do so much, and I don't want to have to send the military. So I'll give you guys a chance to handle your business yourself. And that's the best way to do it to me. And, you can call people from different states. They do it all the time. Hey, come help us out over here. We're bogged down by gun control laws, and they just lifted the bans on all these weapons and concealed carry and all that stuff. Come help us protect our stuff. They're not doing it. Whatever you got to do, band the people together. That's what I'm saying. But when you call for the military to come through the streets, like, it's not going to be.
Hold on, I gotta just interrupt right quick. Somebody in the chat says the military was deployed in '92 and the riots '92.
No, that was the National Guard. That was the National Guard.
Is there a difference?
Guard.
Is there a difference?
Yeah. So the National Guard, they're trained to handle things here in the state. I was in the military, so the active. Trump is talking about the active military. That's a different level, right? They are trained to fight foreign enemies.
The National Guard is part of the reserve components of the U.S. Army and the U.S. Air Force. So how is it different? It's the military.
There's an Army Reserve for that. See,
but it's the military though, regardless.
Yes, but they're trained differently. The National Guard here, they're weekend warriors. They're weekend warriors. They go train once a month, 2 weeks out the year, and that's what they do. They're not. They don't have the same mentality. They don't have the same things going on. You send troops over here, they're trained differently. They're trained 24/7.
Okay.
They have it in their mind that this is what we're going to do. But that's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to call troops on your own soil.
I got you. I got you, man. Hey, I may cut you, but I got a lot of calls online. Thank you for the calls always, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace. Shout out to my man Snap Turtle for the call, aka Snapzilla Gorilla. Alrighty. Thank y'all for being here. You guys are great. The best audience on the entire internet. My phone lines are blowing up. I'm talking about blowing up. I'm going to try to get to everybody as soon as I can. Y'all just hang tight. Pardon me. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Yeah, you try to just suspend gun laws. I mean, everybody not going to be able to, you know, that's not going to be a thing that everybody's able to do. It's just, okay, let's get to the next. All right, caller, who am I speaking to? Caller? Caller, can you hear me? All right, the caller can't hear me. Now, caller, I think you were on Skype. I don't want to say your name, but you might have had something wrong with your audio because I could see you and hear your sound, but you couldn't hear me. So let's get to the next call, and we're going to do... all right, caller, who am I speaking to? Caller. If you can hear me, if you can hear me, I can't hear you. So let's, okay. Sorry, took a little bit too long, but you got to be ready to rock. I mean, I'm sorry, but let's get to the next call. And we're going to do... No, Lil King, what's happening?
Hey, man, what's up? It sucks I have to follow up with someone who was clearly possessed or something. That was weird. Yo, man, how are things with you, first of all?
Oh, everything's good, man. No complaints over here. Everything's good to go.
Yeah, so I'm lucky, right? I still get paid. Like, I get paid to sit at home, basically. So I got really bored after a while. That's why I haven't been on. And I was working a cash job, right? And this is right in SJW territory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a bunch of hipsters and stuff. And the guy, he has an Instagram following pretty big. So basically what happens is I do all his prep and stuff. Easy job, right? Because I know how to cook and I do the prep and I leave. And then he puts on Instagram videos. He has events. That's fine. But he's half Chinese, half black. But the thing is, when you look at him, you would think he's Chinese, right? You wouldn't think he's black at all. He has the Trina accent and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So but the thing is, he's taken on this black identity. So this whole thing with the riot and the looting, it's so irritating being around him because everything to him is about oppression, right? He's disrespecting the, like rules, like you're not supposed to have patio furniture. And we have a bunch of Karens next door who report him. Right. But to him, it's systematic oppression. It's so tough, for me as a black man. And I'm looking at this guy like this guy's a joke. But anyway, one thing that really upset me is this professional wrestler. You probably don't know him, but he served in the military and he sent out a tweet. Now, there was a lot of controversy, and I was concerned because I thought, okay, did he send out a tweet with blackface and he's goose stepping at the same time? But all he wrote was, I love our president, and I'm so grateful to be part of a free nation. That's it. And other wrestlers are putting him down. They're telling him how evil he is and how he can support someone. So it's a whole thing, like in the wrestling community, people are arguing. So I went to Reddit, which is just like left-leaning central, right? And I went in and I'm like, guys, this guy is not racist for supporting the president, right? And they were saying stuff like, oh, but Trump is hateful, that therefore you're hateful, blah, blah, blah. And I said all the things that Trump is doing for the black community, right? I talked about the HBCUs. I talked about the low unemployment. I talked about him reaching out to all those celebrities who refused to show up. I lost so much respect for a lot of them. Like you were talking about Steve Harvey earlier. You know what I mean? Yeah. They were given an opportunity to actually do something. You have the most powerful person in the country trying to reach out to you and you don't want to do anything. So I'm bringing this stuff up and I was getting a lot of hatred. Like my karma, I don't know if you use Reddit, my karma was pretty good, man. And that discussion alone, it went by like hundreds and hundreds. But you know what makes it worth it? Because I get into these arguments a lot online. But the thing that makes it worth it is I'll get a private message from 1 or 2, 3 people, just a few people, and they'll say, thank you very much. And that's just the message I want to send out to a lot of conservatives is maybe you don't have the resources to donate to the campaign, but just be a good example. And when people put your feet to the fire, they accuse you of being a supremacist and all this other garbage and this systematic crap, just bring the facts with them. And if you can just get 1 or 2 people to see rationally, because you have to understand that a lot of these folks, all they know is their bubble. They don't know anything else. So when I come out and I'm writing these things, it blows their mind, right? Because of course I have to tell them I'm black, because as soon as I don't mention that, I'm going to get banned for being a white supremacist. So they'll read these things, and I'll specifically say this can be verified. If anybody wants me to give them sources, I'll give them. I'm not just pulling this out of my butt. So I'm just saying that this needs to be done. We have Trudeau in Canada pausing for 20 seconds, and everybody saying this is so groundbreaking. Trudeau, he really stood up to Trump. This is the same guy who had blackface. We don't have any real evidence for Trump being racist. This guy, he's done something racist, but okay, he pauses for 20 seconds, and Canadians are like, wow, he's fighting against systematic racism. But I'm really amped up. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm really disappointed with all this looting, and I've just given up with my family because it's just propaganda central in the WhatsApp chat. I could go on and just keep ranting and raving because I'm all fired up, but it's great talking to you. I appreciate that there are guys like you, man. I've been watching you and Adventist Holmes. I don't know if you know him.
I know him very well. I met him a few times.
He's awesome. Lately, he's been discussing this issue. He's been having people on, and they've been having a good dialogue. Unlike Amazing Lucas, who's really disappointed. I shouldn't have said his name. I was going to be anonymous about it, but he's just kicking anyone out who disagrees, calling them clowns. So I appreciate you, ABL. I'm not like kissing, like brown-nosing you or anything, but I'm just saying I appreciate that you're giving everybody a platform, whether it's Ivan or all these other liberals, because we need to have this discussion. We can't be in our bubbles. And I'm all amped up. I'm sorry, maybe this is irritating to a lot of people, but thanks, man. I got to go cool down, maybe do some push-ups because I'm all amped up. So peace out, man. Thanks for talking to you.
Thank you for the call.
Peace.
Shouts to my man Nolo King with the excellent call. He's up there in Toronto with, the cosplay governor. What's his name? Trudeau, a.k.a. Fidel Castro's illegitimate son, but different story. We'll move on. Let's get to the next call. All right, caller, who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Josh.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Not much. I was just thinking about some of this, kind of the riots and stuff and kind of the stuff going on, and kind of just don't understand kind of the logic anymore, because I used to be on the side of all of these rioters and Black Lives Matter and all of this before. And that was about 2016. Bernie Sanders was my candidate. But it's just I never seen the flaws. I never seen another side. I never understood it. And now that I look at it and I've kind of listened to people like you and on the conservative side, I kind of see what people are talking about. I see that it's it all started on a lie. It started from a lie with Mike Brown. They said he was hands up, don't shoot. That's not what happened. It started from a lie. And then we keep on going. And some of them you can say, it's police brutality, it's police violence. But then we look at the numbers. We see, whites are killed in massive numbers compared to blacks. It's just, I don't understand the rhetoric anymore. It just looks from this side, I just see it and I just don't understand it, I guess. I don't know. It's weird to me.
Now, I understand where you're coming from. I really do, because what you're seeing, what you feel is that things are becoming more ridiculous. It's like not even in any kind of way rational. Am I kind of getting it?
Yeah, it doesn't have any kind of, like the way you say it, man, it's just common sense. Like common sense to me says, yes, what happened to this man is horrible. But how does burning our entire cities down, how does trying to, anybody who's smart understands that this is a classic Marxist, leftist revolution attempt. It's been done throughout history. I mean, if anybody looks it up and sees how it's been, you know, people, this is how they try to get things done. And, you know, when you start to learn stuff like that and you start to kind of see for what it is, and you see how other countries, you know, you've seen Trudeau take all the guns and stuff like that. You know, they don't, I think what it is people want to support Black lives so bad. You know, I got people on my Facebook, you know, they say, you know, you're racist. And it's just like the easiest way to say, you know, I don't want to hear what you have to say. And I once you start seeing that, you're kind of like, all right, hold on, let me see what these people are saying, because they're starting to make some sense. And then you look at it, you look at the numbers, you look at everything, and you don't understand. I just don't understand why it has to become a race thing. This isn't a race thing, you know. It's like, how has rioting ever gotten anything done? You know, it's not we hate. You know, we gotta do this because you know, these companies, you know, they support white privilege, white silence is this, you know. How you gonna tell me, because I'm a white man, I don't care about Black lives? Every day I care about Black lives, care about white lives, care about people. You know, I treat people good. I don't treat nobody bad, but because I'm not on Facebook saying, oh, Black Lives Matter, because I've seen the damage that Black Lives Matter has done. What did rioting in Baltimore do? Ferguson. I mean, they seen martial law come in, but, you know, and it didn't solve anything. And that was all under Obama, you know, ran by Democrats. So and then they don't see it as, oh, this ain't political anymore. It's not, but it is political. It's all political. It's completely pushed by the Democrats. I mean, I just heard the stat that, you know, the police captain that was just killed, you know, protecting his store, he only has about $50,000 in a GoFundMe. And then we see this Minnesota Freedom Fund has $20 million and doesn't care what charge anybody has seen. They're just going to get out. You see everyone getting out in New York. It's just, this is political. You see the Democrats don't care about your safety. They want to take power. They've always said it. It's all about power to them. And I can see that clear. I mean, I don't understand how people can't see that anymore. You know, I try to talk, my own brother, I have a twin brother. You know, he can call me a racist and all this kind of crap, but I'm like, I'm not a racist. Just listen to what I'm saying.
Your twin brother is calling you a racist?
My own twin brother has called me a racist because I don't agree with Black Lives Matter. And it's almost like this is what they want to create, a civil war where brothers turn against brothers just because of some stupid opinion. It's like, look, you can't think burning stuff down is cool. You know, everyone supports, you know, hey, get justice for George Floyd. I support that. Everybody should support that. You know, hey, what happened to him was wrong. But we can't be killing. I mean, we have black officers getting killed, but we ain't talking about their Black lives. We you know, 77-year-old man who is, you know, black gets killed, and we ain't talking about his life. You know, it's kind of, it's sick. You know, we're like you said, that one Jericho said, you know, it's CBLM. You know, certain Black lives matter. You know, and it's starting to become clear to me. And I just want to say you're doing a good fight, and I appreciate everything you do. And you know, thanks for letting me call in, and, you know, just keep doing what you're doing, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
All right, shout out to the caller. And man, it's rough out there. Your own twin brother is calling you racist. That's wild, super wild. But that's what this would do. Like you said, they're trying to drive brother against brother, mother against son, father against daughter. And they're just trying to divide. But we got to stick, you know, we got to stay unified. Pardon me. Let's get to some super chats right quick, and then I'm going to get back to the calls. You guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. There's also a way to do Skype. There's an email in the description box to contact me on Skype, because it's all coming through the same thing. All right, let's go back up a little bit. And let me see. Let me just see where I left off just to make sure we get money. Thank you to Muso Bronze, who says, ABL, I salute you with the flexing and the 100. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Shout out to Killfish99, who says, one woman on a video screaming at rioters that they're going to get Trump reelected. The Democrats know that chaos and destruction are a direct reflection on the left. Been sharing all of your videos. Thank you, man. I appreciate you as always. And the rioters will get Trump reelected for sure. Thank you to Robert54079 who says, you are awesome, ABL. I appreciate your content. Well, I appreciate you for your donation and your very kind words. Shout out to Sean Jones who says, great content, ABL. Thanks. Ain't no problem, man. Thank you. Shout out to Dan who says, don't let the riots and looting distract you from the fact that the wall is going up. Oh, the wall going up. Shout out to Justin Lee Peterson. MAGA 2020, love you, ABL. God bless you. Thank you for your donation and your very kind words. Shout out to Big Al who says, pardon me, the world would be a better place if people stop voting Democrat and when Black Lives Matter realizes that they are already equal as everyone else. Hey, you got a very good point. Thank you for that. Shout out to Faith Sperry who says, hey from Tennessee, God bless you, ABL, keep shining, will do. And shout out to you from Tennessee, one of the best states in the country. I love it down here, I really do. I'm glad I'm not in Virginia. If you're in Virginia, I'm sorry. Hopefully you live in kind of a place where it's not really crazy yet, because it's rough out here. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to October Scorpio who says, stop watching the NFL and NBA. You're now considered racist if you don't support Kaepernick. LeBron James is the new face of victimization. You know, thank you for that. But to talk about LeBron for a brief moment, I ain't gonna spend too much time on LeBron. I gotta get back to the calls. But LeBron, I hate. Basketball wise, he's one of the best ever. But as a person, I don't like him because of stuff like that. You know, I don't know. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Purple Eyes 888 with a super chat emoji who says you are amazing. I appreciate your super chat emoji. That's nice. Shout out to GB. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name. ASMR for the donation. I appreciate that. Thank you to Chief Rocco who says, peace, ABL, keep pushing, will do, can't do nothing else. Shout out to Big Al who says, since the left hate cops, the left should not call cops if the left are victimized in the crime. Hey, that's pretty much what it is, right? They'd be the first one on the line. Matter of fact, there's a meme for this. There's always a meme for this. Let's see if I can find it right quick. I got to get that because that was right on point. Man, I ain't gonna be able to find it in time. If I could find it during my next call, I'm gonna put it up on the screen because you got to see that one for sure. All righty, but thank you for your, I got it right here. Right on time. Shout out to Brandon Tatum and his wife Corinne. They put this up. Hold on. This is it right here. Look, if you can't see this, if you listen on the audio streaming platform, Apple, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, whatever, this is a meme of white guy, brown hair with a Black Lives Matter t-shirt on, a V-neck, and the thought bubble says, I like to report a suspicious black man waiting in his car in my neighborhood. That is them right there, 1,000%. 1,000%. How you going to go from a Karen that to call the police on somebody for something real small to all of a sudden Black Lives Matter, and if they rob a liquor store, so what? It shouldn't make a difference. But I digress. Super chats, let's continue. Let me see. Let me go back to where I was. And okay, there we go. Shout out to Hank McCoy who says, instead of Antifa, we should call them brown shirts, aka Nazi stormtroopers. I agree with you 1,000%. Thank you to Charles Turner Jr. who says, ABL, great video about David Dorn today. After watching it, I too lost any understanding or respect for peaceful protesters. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm done with the whole thing. If you're out there at this particular point, I'm done. I don't care nothing about your cause. The empathy that I did have was like a little fraction of a percent of empathy is gone. Like I said, I got an icebox where my heart used to be. It's over with. Shout out to Troll Boy for the donation. I appreciate it. Shout out to LW304 2003 who says, Trina is right and still the baddest B to me. I know about that. Thanks for that video, ABL. Hey, it's all good. Shout out to the Diamond Princess Trina for keeping it all the way real. If you've not seen that video, you got to watch it because she laid it down 1,000% correct. Thank you to the definition of anarchy who says, we don't need the National Guard rolling through our streets either. We need to empower the people. We are the militia. But guess what? They're already out there, ain't they? So, but you want to recall them. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to His Gays Incorporated for their donation. Shout out to the definition of anarchy who says, if Obama or Clinton did what Trump did, y'all are hot. Now, I mean, if you need security, you got to have security. Ain't nothing. Shout out to His Gates Incorporated who says George Floyd tested positive for COVID-19 in April. Is that true? Are you telling me the truth? We're going to see. Thank you for that. Shout out to Steve Kelly who says heading to Philly Friday, making a YouTube video. Hey, go for it, man. Shout out to you for your donation. Thank you for that. Thank you to my man, Kelsey Sue, who says, I saw Biden took a knee. Just like that, he ended racism. Standing and brave. P.S. David Dorn was a good man. R.I.P. Yeah, R.I.P. David Dorn. And I'm surprised Joe Biden took a knee because how you going to get back up? You know, he don't even know where he's going. So how you going to get like in that position and then get back up? Fine. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to Todd Pods, who says, what are your thoughts on yesterday's Blackout Tuesday that happened all across social media? And do you think it will help to change anything? That was just something that was supposed to be for the music industry only. And then it became kind of viral and popular. And it was done for that reason. It won't help anything. It won't change anything. It was just something to show that it was just a virtue signaling moment for Instagrammers to just join. That was it. Nothing will change at all as a result of that. It was dumb. It was totally just dumb. It was just more of this sheepish kind of thinking. This, just being like lemmings. It's more of that. I'm not a sheep. I'm an independent thinker. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to Damien from the Bronx, who says Marxist ideology injected into our use. Exactly. That's what's going on. Thank you to Will Redding, who says, I was still trying to recover from Corona hangover when all this started up. Time for a vacation. Yeah, go on vacation, man. Get you a little bit of shout out. Get you a little bit of relaxation for sure. Let's get to the next call. And that's going to be... All right, caller, who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, how you doing, ABL? This is Long Shot Beats, man. How you doing, bro?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
That's what's up, man. Hey, so I'm from Davenport, Iowa, man, where that girl got shot.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I got that video like a couple hours after it happened. So it was crazy to see it like the next day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because like, are you out there still right now, or are you just from there?
Oh, I'm born and raised here. I'm like a couple hour, like a 10-minute walk from that Walmart where she got shot at.
Wow, that's crazy. So it hit home. It was like right there. That's wild.
Yeah, man. I mean, where that Walmart at is in between two like bad areas, so it's like it was bound to happen. I didn't really think it was going to happen at first. I was like, come on, man. They know that people around here got guns, but man, they really went into it. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. That's really unfortunate. But this is what's going on with these so-called riots and protests. It's really just people out there engaging in violent actions. And it's being excused by a lot of these leftists talking about, oh, well, Black Lives Matter and we got to have recognition. It's like, well, what about Black Lives Matter means I got to kill a 22-year-old black girl? How does that make any sense?
Right. I mean, I've been talking to other people all day. I'm like, yo, what about black on black crime? 10 black men died on Memorial Day. What do y'all about think about that? That's a non-issue, man. I'm not trying to hear all that, man. That's a non-issue. Oh, come on, man.
It's crazy. It's like, how was it a non-issue? Because if it's about black lives, and let's talk about black lives. If you got 10 black people in one city get shot, killed on Memorial Day, shouldn't that be a problem? Like, why to talk about it when it is politically expedient? It should be a thing that matters all the time, not just sometime.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy, man. And I in my family, I'm a Republican, man. I am a registered red Republican, no matter what, for the rest of my life. After I learned everything that the Democrats did to black people from 400 years, man, done. So, and when I talk to my family and I try to tell them, I'm like, Republicans have always been there for us. And stuff like that. But sorry, I can't complete a thought right now. But it's like they don't want to hear it. I told my dad, hey, Republicans were the main ones that voted for your civil rights. And he said, no, they didn't. And I was like, well, yeah, they did. And he said, this party switched. I'm like, well, when the party switched, he was like, well, the party switched back in 1930, 1960, whatever. And I said, well, in 1968, 86% of Republicans voted for your right to vote. Then he went on and went crazy. Oh, no, they didn't. Oh. But yeah, man, that's it for me, man. I love your show. I've been watching you for a couple years now. And thanks for doing what you do, man. I love to see other black men out there talking about this type of stuff. It's so great, man. It really helps out.
And thank you for your support, man. I couldn't do it without you, man. I appreciate you for your call as well, too.
No problem, man. You take it easy, bro.
All right, now, same to you. All right, shout out to the call. Yeah, man, I couldn't do it without y'all. You know, it wouldn't be possible. All right, let's get to the next call.
And thanks for doing what you do, man.
All right, caller, can you hear me?
Hi, ABL.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I can't complain too much. I got a little bit of feedback in the background, though. Can you turn that down for me?
Is that better?
Okay, we're good now.
Okay. ABL, I'm glad I got through. I'm just so overwhelmed by everything that's happening. Like, it's as though, like, on my Facebook, I'd say, everybody on there is like, they're all liberals, and like, all the posts is like, Black Lives Matter, and it's like, they're fighting for slavery. Like, every image is about, you know, individuals that have gotten shot by police, and it's just like instigating and just inflaming people, getting people more upset about everything that's happening. And I'm just like, you know, like even my family that are like, you know, diehard Christians, we're all in the faith together. They're like supporting this. I just, especially what happened to that police officer, like I haven't cried that hard in so long. And I just felt like I was breaking down. My heart just hurts for the United States right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. And it's really sad that it's come to this. And the most sad thing is what you were talking about, people trying to give it excuses. Like, oh, no, it's about Black Lives Matter. It's like, well, what are we really doing to ourselves? Let's just pause for a minute and see what's happening to ourselves. We're dying as a result of this. We're turning our neighborhoods as a result of this. What is the actual purpose? What are we going to get from it? I don't know.
I don't. And it's like you tell them one thing and they're like, yeah, I don't support the rioting. But when are they going to listen to us? Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, you know, about to burn down the White House. And it's like, you guys didn't do this when Obama was there. And Trayvon Martin, you know, like Brown, what happened in Ferguson. Like, they didn't go to the White House. Why all of a sudden you guys are going to burn down a church across the street? And then when he holds up the Bible, now it's like, oh, this is so evil. Like, well, he doesn't read the Bible, but you guys rather burn it down than somebody stand in front of the church and hold a Bible and say, you guys need to stop. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And they're telling me, oh, he's a hypocrite. He's not a Christian. I don't care if he's a Christian or not. All I know is that this is not right. Nobody should be dying on the streets on live, like Facebook Live, for the whole world to see, and stores are being broken into. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. And it's like people are rationalizing this, and they keep going out there. Like, I'm a Republican, but I grew up a Democrat. You know, like growing up in Detroit, when I went to school, I was told, you know what, all Black people, you guys have to vote Democrat. So that's all I knew. I never even looked up Republicans, it was just, you know, Bush is a fool, everybody's this, like it's all about, you know, being Black and you have to be a Democrat. So now that I see this, you know, the rest of all of my surroundings, everybody else, even my husband, is like, he doesn't even know what to say. He's like a box stuck in a hard place. His family is like hardcore Democrat. His wife is here. And so he just has to keep the peace. But it's like, this is terrible. Now, did you see the woman that they stopped on the road and just asked her to apologize for being white?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. It made her get on her knees right in front of her.
Like, what the hell is that?
And you know what? The craziest thing is that, like, that was one thing, but I saw this whole big, I don't know what it was, like an outside auditorium, but it had to have been about 100 white folks, all kind of like on their knees, listening to this Black guy talk to them about, like, like basically he was telling them to, like, recite this whole apology. I'm sorry for slavery. I'm sorry for, I was like, wow, really? This was like a cult. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And it's all white people out there, the same people that are oppressing them, apparently.
That's right.
And LeBron James is complaining in his $1 billion mansion or $100 million mansion. Meanwhile, we're oppressed. Like, this doesn't make any excuse my language, any sense. But I just wanted to call in because I'm surrounded by liberals. I don't even know another person who is conservative. And to hear you guys, I see there are other people that are like-minded, that are, thinking straight. It feels like crime has gone viral. Everybody's like supporting this, and I just needed to vent, and I thank you for picking up my call, and God bless you for what you're doing.
All right. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. All right. Shout out to the caller. Hey, said it very well. If I could find that video that I'm talking about of all them people out there that were listening to this guy recite, and I think I know who the guy reciting was. I think I've heard that voice before, but I don't know for 1,000% sure. The person that had it on Twitter deleted it for some reason. If you guys have seen what I'm talking about, it was like, had it been about 100 or 200 white folks all on their knees apologizing to one guy that was reciting it. I think it might have been something that was written by that dude McCorder. If you guys know what I'm talking about, it was a thing that was written by him. He's reciting it, and then they were reciting it back. You're talking about Jim Jones, drink the Kool-Aid, that type of thing that was going on. Really wild. Like, your white guilt has consumed you to the point where you just, like, you got self-deprecation going on. It's crazy. Let's get to the next call. Alrighty, let's go. All right, call you on the line. Who am I speaking to? 617.
Hello?
Yeah, 617.
Hey, Anthony, I know you gotta make that money. I understand, bro. First of all, I don't believe no one agrees, Democrat or liberal or whatever, a Democrat or conservative agree with the looting, with the killing, with any of that stuff. So
I don't know about that. I was watching what was it? It might have been MSNBC or CNN. I saw Mark Lamont Hill, and he was saying that the looting is an expression of oppression, and it shouldn't make a difference because these stores got insurance and everything should be fine. He said that like on TV,
so
live on TV.
You're taking the opinion of one person.
Well, this is an opinion that CNN. But wait a minute, CNN didn't refute them. They didn't kick back. They just let them rock, and it was all good.
So, but you see, that's what you do. That's why you make your money.
And I've also seen. I can talk. You can't overtalk me, sir. I got the control. I've also seen this general idea of, well, Target got insurance, so what? That's been repeated a lot, all on TV, social media, everywhere. This is a common thing that I've seen be repeated. But you know what? It's funny when you are talking, when I'm talking, because what happens when you start talking, I turn off my speakers and I mute you on live, so I can't even hear you. So we're talking right now. I have not heard you for the entire time, so I'll give you the floor right now, though.
Okay, so you take the opinion of one person and glorifies the whole liberal.
I just said that it was not just one person. I heard him say it on TV, and a bunch of others said the same thing about the whole thing with insurance as far as Target is concerned. So that's not true. Go ahead, though.
True. That's not true. No one believes that looting and killing is a good thing. No,
okay.
Don't be.
All right.
Don't be nonsense. Don't be nonsense.
Don't be nonsense. Okay. I won't be nonsense.
We've been through this before. We've been through this in 1991. We've been through this in 1968 when they killed Martin Luther King, and no one agreed with this. No one agreed with this.
Okay, all right, sure. Nobody.
And then the Black Panthers, they were hijacked by the criminals. The Martin Luther King movement was hijacked by the criminals at one time when he marched in 1965 in Chicago. There were people robbing the store. They're trying to blame Martin Luther King with it. So you can't say that the Black Lives Movement is a bunch of criminals because the vast majority of people, they were protesting peacefully. You never show the video with the peacefully protesters marching with the police, hand by hand, turning the thugs that they were doing the criminal acts because it doesn't fit your narrative and doesn't help you to make money, son. You know the truth. You know I know the drill. It's marketing. You got to show the negative aspect because that's what it sells. You got to link it with the Democrats and liberals because that's what it sells. Or join the conservative.
Like I said, I'm gonna jump in right quick. Like I said before, I think that if you are at this point protesting, it doesn't matter if you're peaceful or not peaceful. You are the same as just the rioter, because you're creating the environment for the riots to happen. I acknowledged from the beginning that there were some peaceful people. I acknowledge that. But the problem is that when you're all out there and the massive people, that kind of environment creates a situation where riots and protests happen. So they're all the same in my humble opinion, in my book. And then what exactly do you call a peaceful protester? If somebody's sitting on the ground, they're not actually, I'm asking the question, you're going to be quiet. Now, the question I have to you, you can answer if you like, is what is peaceful protester? If you are sitting on the ground blocking traffic, but you're not fighting, you're not shooting, you're not looting, but you're sitting on the ground blocking traffic, is that peaceful? What is a peaceful protester? Can you answer?
I understand. So that I'm on.
Go ahead.
So you don't want to show those videos with.
The question was, what is a peaceful protester? I asked you a question. I need you to answer the question. What is a peaceful protester?
The cop and the black kids were protecting him from.
I mean, look, but see, the thing about it is, this is my show. You can't just say whatever you want to say. You can't just I ask you a question, you just say something else. And what you're talking about as far as the protection of the cop and all of that, I showed that on my live stream, on here. Anybody that was watching can tell you. But the question I had for you is, what is a peaceful protester?
You just the same way as MSNBC, CNN.
I'm trying to be so nice. I'm trying not to hang up on you, but you're making it really hard. You're making it so hard for me. I ask you one last time, and if you can't answer, I'll just get to my next call because you're taking up too much time anyway. What is a peaceful protester?
Sandy, that there's good and things, the good things and bad things in this thing.
All right, have a nice day. He's having his own conversation with himself. I'm trying to ask you questions so we can keep this whole thing moving real nice. You can't just be having your own conversation with yourself. That's not really how that works. If I say, hey, peaceful protester, what's that? You're like, oh, well, 1987. That's all right, man, I don't got no time for that. Let's move on to the next thing. Number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. If you didn't catch that, as always, right here. There it is, right there, right on time. 434-658-1220. It's always right there in the ticker. And it's also always in the description box at the very top line. First characters, that is the number. Let's get to the next call. And we're going to go 239. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how are you doing?
Everything's all right. How about yourself?
I'm not doing very well, but I don't know. I normally call because I usually have questions, but in this case, I was wanting to call because I wanted some advice, if that's okay with you.
Okay, go for it.
I'll make this very short since I know you have a bunch of callers and stuff like that, and you need to, get through all of us. I'm sorry that I've been calling so much. It's just that here's what happens. I've been trying online dating, and it's been going so for me. And the other day, I was on a good date with somebody. We had decided to meet at this restaurant I had never gone to, but she had. And we were talking, and we got to the talk of politics. And I had mentioned how Black Lives Matter wasn't real for me, and that, slavery is a mindset that you put yourself in as a African American, and the fact that, it's all fake, and, that Black people really have, and the fact that, slave reparations is all a joke and all this and all that. And out of nowhere, this black guy who was, because the way the booths are at the restaurant we were at, they're pretty high, so you can't see who's next to you or under you. They're pretty private, and we were all the way at the end. Out of nowhere, he stands up, and next thing you know, I get decked in the face. And
Wait. Let's just pause for a moment. So you're on a date, and who comes up to you? Who is this guy? I did catch you said. Okay, he's a black guy.
An African American man. Yes.
Okay, so he just stands up, comes over to you, and just punches you in the face.
He was seated right behind me. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're on a date. What was it were you on a date with a black girl?
No, sir. Just a white girl.
Okay, and are you white?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so continue your story.
Well, he decked me, and I feel bad because he decked me, and I was so shocked and so in the moment that I yelled out the N-word followed by the word what, and that's when everyone else got involved. And to make the long story short, basically, we were told to get out. Mostly I was told to get out because everyone could hear the fact that I had said a racial slur and that I was angry and everything. And the owner wouldn't even address the fact that I was assaulted. It was all my fault basically. And it was so embarrassing. But the notion of the story is the fact that I hated every black person from the drive to the restaurant to my house, and it's taken me a while to just calm down and realize what has happened. And I guess what I'm trying to ask is, am I justified in my hate, or am I really racial deep down inside? Because I didn't think that I would scream the N-word to this guy that just punched me, and I'm pretty sure if he were white I wouldn't have, but I just, I don't know. I'm just so confused right now.
I'm confused too. I don't know what's going on. All I'm gonna say is this: whatever happened between you and that person, that's between you and that person. It's not a reflection on anybody else. And if you say the N-word after dude punches you in the face randomly, that's not like a bad thing. You ain't just say that for no reason. Dude got up and hit you in the face. I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, did you hit him back?
No. No. Too many people got involved. All the waiters came in because I had yelled it basically. You know what I mean? Because I just stood my ground, but everyone was already there. It was like, and I didn't even mean to say it. It was just the shock of the moment and everything, and it was just, I basically got thrown out of that place like a racist, and I don't know. It just made me realize, if I had that much hate for somebody who did that to me for something like that, and this was an altercation, I can only imagine what a business owner feels. You know what I'm saying? Getting his store looted. I don't know. I never thought I would get hit for something, and I wasn't even saying anything bad towards black people. I was just saying, how I felt about Black Lives Matter, how I felt about the whole mindset of slavery, how I felt about reparations, and how I think it's a joke and black people need to wake up and stuff like that. And maybe what I'm saying, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. This was a call for the ages. Okay. I get to the next call, but all I'm gonna say is, if you get into a fight, if you get hit in the head or something, I think you'd be better off by punching the back and getting into a fight. You probably would have it probably wouldn't have been no problem. You probably wouldn't have got kicked out. But thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Now, shout out to the caller. I don't know what I can't tell if he was genuine or what, but my advice to him is all I could really say. If somebody punches you in the face randomly, if that's me, I'm gonna go ahead and cut you with a blade. That's just off top, or I'm gonna shoot you or something. You're not gonna hit me in my face. I'm not gonna be getting to yelling. I'm gonna actually hurt you. That's pretty much, or I'm gonna hit you. Whatever I got close to me. If we're in a restaurant, I'm gonna get a glass. I'm gonna get this cup and bang you in the head. I was always told, ain't no such thing as a fair fight. A fair fight is a fight you win. How about that? Don't touch me. Get your head knocked off. Anyway, the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And if you're with your girl out in public and you get punched in the face, and then she's looking at you like, what are you gonna do? What's happening? He's like, nigger. That ain't really. She wants you to go ahead and push your paws on the boy. But anyway, Victor, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem, man.
Yeah, man. The last time I talked to you, we weren't in the apocalypse.
Now, apocalypse is over with. That was so last week, man. We gotta get with the times.
Yeah, man. So anyway, how you been doing so far?
Oh man, everything's good with me, man. I can't complain at all. Just living a life.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. So, uh, did you hear about Rush Limbaugh on the Breakfast Club?
I heard that. I listened to it. It was we talking about kind of like dumpster fire status.
Yeah, man. I mean, granted, I think that with a couple of questions that was given to Rush Limbaugh that he wasn't prepared for. But I think there was one question that they asked that they weren't prepared for, and it's the question about white supremacy. And Rush Limbaugh talked about how he doesn't believe there's white supremacy, that is all like a liberal ploy and stuff. And how they explained how they define what white supremacy is kind of showed like how they're not really talking about a system. They're just talking about people. Yeah. And for instance, when Charlemagne defined white supremacy, he said that it's a system that's designed for old white men, laws or legislation that disproportionately hurt black people. But yet, though, you cannot even point out to any laws that is negatively impacting white people. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Like there's no actual thing you can point to. Nothing really tangible. He just talks kind of like in parables. It's like, all right, but give me something real though. Like, can I point to a particular law in the book that has white supremacy in it or no?
Yeah. And then, and then on top of that, Rush Limbaugh asked him like, okay, then how did you make it? I mean, how did you make it? Obviously, if you were impressed, obviously you defeated it or something. And how do you make it? And they did not even, they didn't answer that question. They still said that was still hurting mostly black people. But yet, though, you are a good example how you defeated it, so you can help other people to defeat it. And then Rush Limbaugh mentioned about how Barack Obama got re-elected and re-elected. It was president for 8 years. And Charlemagne says something that's pretty shocking, and I think that is attacking Barack Obama merits. Because he said that when Rush Limbaugh brought up Barack Obama, Charlemagne said that it doesn't matter as long as he was unwilling to dismantle white supremacy. And I'm like, wait, hang on. You said unwilling to dismantle white supremacy? So what are you saying? Are you saying that he actually worked for white supremacy, or white supremacy handpicked him? Or I mean, that's really an attack on Barack Obama merits. Well, almost sound like he didn't actually win it, or B, that he won it, but actually what he did, he just started working with white supremacy and wasn't there for anyone.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird. So it's like, okay, if you work for them, can I like go to the headquarters? Can I go to the location? Can I put on the resume and try to get a position at white supremacy? Like, what's really going on? Like, I don't know. I think Charlemagne gets his talking points from some of these phony brainiac academic types. They say stuff like that. Oh, we got to dismantle the gears of white supremacy. People that get paid to talk at Google, they say nothing. They have corporate speaking gigs just to say a bunch of nonsense. They get book deals. And in the book, it ain't nothing more than a coloring book, for real, put together by an editor. So, I mean, but these people think that, I'm reading a real intellectual book and I'm getting some knowledge. But then when you get put to the test, when you get in there with a real actual viper and Rush Limbaugh, it's like, hey, define that for me. And then you come with this whole gobbledygook. It's like, what's that? That don't mean nothing. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, especially what he said about Barack Obama, which is really just questioning, like, wow, I really feel like he really question his merit, almost like he didn't really deserve to be. He didn't deserve that election. That he was really working with white supremacy, and he was handpicked for to continue to promote white supremacy. That's basically what he's saying.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And what else? Oh, and then as he continued to hear in that interview, how they were bringing up examples, they really were talking about just people that's working in the system. So they're not really talking about the law, and they're really talking about, well, it's the people who are basically enforcing the law. That's not really white supremacy, because you're not really attacking the system. I mean, I think that what they try and get at is like they just want to completely get rid of racism, which is understandable. But you got to understand that people have free will. They're going to freely choose the way they act. And you will get some people that's going to be racist. And you may get some people that hold these positions that will use the law in a negative way. And what we have to do is continuously identify those people so we could get them out and vote the right people in. It's not the system or the laws you're mad about. It's actually the people that's in office that you're mad about.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. And then throughout this whole with the George Floyd incident, it just really shows how people really don't care about Black lives. Like, for instance, throughout my Facebook timeline, I hear people say that, well, if I unfriend you, it's personal. Basically, when they hear an opinion that they don't like, they will unfriend them. Mm-hmm. And they talk about they want to have a conversation, but yet when you hear disagreement, you want to you don't want to have the conversation. Instead, you want to be in a safe space, and you don't want to listen to the other side. So you're truly not ready for that conversation. And then also, when people get upset that when they say bring a black on black crime because it's not the right time. Okay, I can understand why. I can understand that, but at the same time, you got to ask the question: when is the right time to talk about this? Because if you truly care about Black lives, and you want to say that you want to have these uncomfortable conversation, then why can't we have a conversation about something that's significantly killing Black people, which is black on black crime? I mean, you're so outraged with the police brutality and police killing, and I get it. But if you take that away, you're not significantly decreasing Black killings. You're not, because you could turn on your local news and you could hear almost every day a Black person killing another Black person. And it's kind of weird how they say that they want to make people uncomfortable to talk about the police killings, but they don't want to. They want to stay comfortable and don't want to talk about the real issues that's killing Black people.
That's right, 100% correct.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, have you heard about this website called killbypolice.net?
I've not heard about that, but I got limited time, so you got to kind of like get that point out real quick.
Okay, so basically, it's a database. If you could look through each individual that got killed by cops that year, and you could just really see that how they try to have this narrative that police officers are targeting Black people, and you could clearly see it's not true. You could see a ton of people, how especially with white people, how they got killed, unarmed white people that got killed, and the cops didn't get charged at all. Yeah.
Right.
And so
That's
all I gotta say. And thanks for taking my call.
I thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right then. Bye.
Peace. All right. Shout out to man Victor for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. I got probably about 20 minutes left. Thank you all for being here. If you like the video, if you enjoy the content, if you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up, like the video. Also, share the video. If you are not subscribed yet, first time viewer, whatever the case may be, go ahead and subscribe right now and click that bell. When you click that bell, you should get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. Let's get to the next call though. Number to call 434-658-1220. 214, you're on line. I'm speaking to.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, man, what's up, ABL? This is Tariq, man.
Everything's good, man. What's going on?
Oh, nothing much, man. Let's just start from the top, man. I totally agree with you with these protests, man. A lot of these people protesting don't care about George Floyd, man. They're just trying to get some free Gucci, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
What was happening is they sitting at the crib like, oh, yeah, bro, they over there breaking into the Gucci store. oh, yeah, bro, they get some free shoes, bro. Shoot, I'm there. That's what it's about, bro. That is what the looters, my bro. I don't want to hear Dr. Umar Johnson or these old school blackheads talk about this is reparations for looted black people. Get out of here. These people are smiling and having a good time at this point, bro, because it's anarchy. Nobody's telling them what to do. They can do whatever, bro. It's like a kid in like Candyland. Like everything, you can just grab it. It's free. It's there for you. And the police are told to stand down because you got these liberal mayors, you know what I'm saying, trying to be cool with black people because they understand that 2020 is coming and we need y'all's votes. You know, we don't need this huge clampdown in these Democrat cities of these police possibly affecting Joe Biden losing, man. So this is all a joke. And the problem is, man, anytime an African-American tries to speak some logic, it's like, hey, y'all, stop looting. That, man, is called a coon, man. And that's ridiculous, bro. So it puts us in this space where all we can do is get out there and loot and have a bad time, you know, act a fool. The other thing is these white liberals, man. Because I was at a protest in Dallas, and there was a lot of white liberals. I would say the white liberals probably outnumbered the black people out there, man. And the problem with this is that black people are so, just like, oh, please love me, please respect me, please come support me. Then these groups come in, and what are these groups doing? They tearing up their neighborhood too. Like, you think these white liberals gonna let black people march through their neighborhoods and tear it up? Heck no. But they gonna come to our neighborhoods and tear it up and talk about some Black Lives Matter, don't stop, don't shoot, I can't breathe. No, these white liberals do not have these conversations amongst themselves. All this pandering, man. They got black folks at the White House yelling, hey, ho, ho, the police, racist cops has got to go. I mean, this is such weakness. But it's just, to me, it just shows how much contempt they have for black people because I'm thinking, what if George Floyd was a white gay man and he died like that? First of all, there wouldn't be any protests because all white liberals would do is they'll put a tremendous media pressure on the Minneapolis Police Department. Tremendous. You're going to have businesses threatening to pull out, you know what I'm saying? And there's going to be some economic repercussions for Minneapolis. But they ain't going to be out here protesting and rioting. But I try to tell the black liberal, but for you, they just want to come out, protest, riot, and break and loot stores and get free things just like you are. That's it. And they call that support. And black folks, because we're just so emotional, man, we're just like, yay, we got allies. It's so fake. And I'm like, why can't y'all see we don't even have control of these protests. It's like, I've seen, and I don't support Tariq Nasheed at all. He's such a race baiter. It's crazy. But when I'm looking at his Twitter feed, he does have videos of black folks yelling at Antifa for, spray painting Black Lives Matter on the walls, destroying glass buildings, just pretty much vandalizing, saying what y'all are doing is y'all are going to have the media paint us as rioters. So I commend those black people are doing that. But that just shows that you got other people just coming in and you got no control over it. And then the other thing is, because black people aren't free to speak their mind, we're called coons. This is why I see Trina. Trina came out and ran it because I feel like if you are in her space as a celebrity and you're on the airways, you got a whole, but it just feels like you got a lot of people just holding their hands over your neck, and you say one thing, they're gonna choke you. And I feel like Trina was just like, I gotta breathe and speak some truth. Y'all acting like animals, and it's like black people don't want to hear that. The problem is this, man. When you are looting and destroying your neighborhood, it pisses everybody off. Everybody who has their own businesses, they are all losing money. They're like, what did I do for this to happen to my business? You know what I'm saying? What if there's a black woman who needs to buy diapers for her baby, and she got to go to Target, but then you got these rioters burning it down. And then she says, well, why the heck did y'all burn down the Target? And they're like, well, they got insurance, so they'll be right there. Well, but what about this woman's diapers? So now she got to drive 30 miles? Like, it's so, there is no logic to this. And it just seems like everyone is afraid to speak the truth because of political correctness. And then here you got Obama coming out, talk about police reform. I'm like, bro, where was you 8 years ago? You had 8 years. Why are you now talking about police reform? Like, you need to shut up. You can't even speak. You like your time is done. You're useless. You're powerless. For you to stand on the sideline and talk about we need to develop a police force, it's like, what the heck did you do in office? You did nothing. You can I don't even know why black people allow this man to even come in their face and utter those words. Like, it's so bro, the black community gets disrespected so much, and we just sit there and just take it. It is beyond maddening. But yeah, bro, this whole thing, now that the 4 officers has been apprehended, these protests aren't going to end, man. Like, it doesn't matter how much posturing, how much you kneel, these people are not going to end. They just want free stuff. A lot of this is political, and I caution the states to just be very careful of calling the National Guard. They should, but knowing how corrupt this media is, they're going to turn this around on Donald Trump, because once the National Guard come in and start clamping down on these protests, and it could get brutal, they're going to all blame it on Donald Trump, man. And just this last thing, man, what do you think about James Clapper and Mark Esper coming out criticizing Donald Trump?
It was not needed. I don't understand what was the purpose of them saying that. That could have been something that was like behind closed doors. Why would you come out publicly and say that? It must be something else going on aside from what they said.
Bro, I think it's all 2020 election. And, it's just this only happens on the right. It never happens on the left. You get these prominent Republicans, always on the right, always, never on the left, coming out criticizing Trump. Always, bro. And it's just like these never-Trumpers, like they hold their tongue and they know 2020 is coming because they want the status quo. If you notice, a lot of these never-Trumpers and establishment Republicans, they're comfortable in the Democratic Party because they know the Democratic Party's not challenging nothing. They're not challenging no corruption. They're with the corrupt CIA, the corrupt FBI. They like the illegal spying on Americans. Democrats are not challenging nothing. That's why these Republicans feel so comfortable with Joe Biden winning, because they know Joe Biden ain't changing nothing. You got these black folks thinking that a senile white man is going to address their issues when Obama couldn't. Bro, this is such the biggest joke I've ever seen in my life, man. And that's pretty much all I want to say.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take care.
All right, peace. All right, great call from my man Tariq. Excellent calls always. All right, I got a little bit of time left. Let's get to the next call. Let's go. Let me see if I missed anything here. Let's go. All right, call you on line 772. Who am I speaking to? 772.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi. I just wanted to point out, this whole thing is, it seems like it's scripted. It's just like, there's somebody behind the scenes running the show, and it's just crazy what's going on right now. It's not what it seems on the surface. It's a Soros kind of thing.
Well, I think that a lot of these so-called protests, really riots, are organized. That's a fact. That's not even something that you could just say, I think. That's something that we know. We have evidence of that. I think NYPD came out and said that there was evidence of organization in these so-called riots. They're talking about they have communicated locations where you have incendiary devices and whatnot. So there definitely is some coordination to all these riots and protests. But aside from that, I'm not really sure to what extent it is a thing that's planned. But no, this is not all spontaneous. I'll put it to you like that.
Yeah, it's like Wizard of Oz or something. You know, it's crazy. They're laying down piles of bricks and stuff like that, so they can, it's all planned out. And I mean, the news gets to decide what they show and what they don't show. And that makes it all of a sudden the narrative. What's important in life. So that's kind of what's going on now. And we need to come together as a country.
Oh, absolutely, 100% correct.
Okay, well that's if I unfriend you, it's probably because I got banned from one of the social media.
Oh, okay. Hey, I know how it happens.
I'm conservative.
Yeah, you want to be conservative. That's like the worst thing in the world nowadays, I suppose.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I had, really. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. Nippin, what's going on with you, boss?
Ignoring me for a second.
No, we good, man. Phone lines just jammed up. What's happening?
Well, that little bit of respect I had for those so-called peaceful protesters, delete. They're all rioters. I thought, yeah, there's a small minority protest. No. Turns out they're all turning. Look, you might go there as a peaceful protester, but sooner or later you're going to be sucked into all the hatred. It's just like you're near a vacuum. Do you know what a vacuum cleaner is?
Yes.
You're like a little dust particle. Being in that near a riot, trying to protest peacefully, is being a dust particle near a vacuum cleaner and expecting not to get sucked up by it.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what that's exactly what trying to protest peacefully in front of a riot is. You might be trying to protest peacefully, but eventually it will turn violent. You just can't do that.
Yeah, and the problem is that this has been going on for way too long. It's not a thing that's actually subsiding properly in a lot of these big cities. So it gotta come to an end. The protests in general got to come to an end because they always are now ending in the very same way, and it's by design.
Yeah, and I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. What I think happened to George Floyd was wrong. I said it was wrong. And yet, I actually do think the police officers deserved to be charged.
Well, I mean, deserve is different than actual. Can they be charged, or will they actually be found guilty? Because I don't think they did anything that was actually illegal, because the hold that they did was by the book. Now, as far as Derek Chauvin, I'm not sure. I think that what he did was by the book, but he probably did it improperly. I'm not sure what kind of charge you would get from that. Now, if they overcharge Derek Chauvin and the other officers, what'll happen is they'll beat the case. So it's like, all right, you want justice, but people are so, they have so much bloodlust. What they'll end up doing is causing the case to go against them. They won't get justice.
I just think that one officer should have been charged. I think he dealt with it very wrongly. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
So anyway, Trina has been cancelled for calling these rioters animals.
That's right.
Yeah, for telling the truth. Can't take the reality, can you, liberals?
Not at all. I mean, and the thing is, they're tearing up her friends.
Liberal tears.
They're tearing up her friend's store. Cheers. They're tearing up her friend's store. And it's like, okay, what are you actually doing? Black Lives Matter, but you're tearing up my friend's store for what? What's the reason why you got to tear up my friend's store? I just don't really understand. So I was with her 1,000%.
I just want to prove a point. I mean, What point are you trying to prove?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even really call it.
And what I found hilarious, by hilarious I mean completely ridiculous, is that they were protesting in the name of Martin Luther King. I'm sorry, but you can't protest in the name of someone who would actually oppose what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, people they have no real concept of history. They don't understand what's going on. They don't really care about that. People are out there for selfish reasons. They're self-serving. And most of the so-called protesters, really rioters, they don't care anything about that. They're like, not only do they not know, they don't care. They're more concerned with just trying to get something for free rather than anything else.
Yeah, I made an image which I'm going to show to you real quick. You see this? This is George W. Romney from the governor of Michigan during the civil rights era.
Okay, so you got to, I'm going to explain it right quick for those that can't see. It says, well, it's like a meme. Hold on, let me see if I can put it up. Let me just get a moment. It's kind of hard to really, but the meme is at the very top.
One is the governor of Michigan during the civil rights era, and one is the governor of Alabama, George Romney and George Wallace.
So at the top it says, actively protested with black people against segregation. That's the governor of Michigan, you said?
George Romney, Mitt Romney's father.
Ah, okay. And then the bottom one, that's it said physically prevented black people from attending school. There you go.
And that's you remember George Wallace?
Yeah, Alabama.
Yeah, segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever.
Yep, and also Joe Biden was against integration.
Precisely. I mean, if Donald Trump is a racist, then I'm the tooth fairy.
No, I hear you for sure.
Sorry, the racist I see is that 77-year-old man running for president.
That's pretty much the way I see it too. I don't really see anything different.
Yeah. And now people, this would be a whole non-story if the policeman was black and the victim was white. There would be no, police brutality, lives matter. There would be no Instagram feeds clogging up.
Nah, nobody really cares. Nobody truly cares about the situation. Nobody really cares about George Floyd. It's all about just the whole black victimization, white man, black victim. That's all it's about. If George Floyd was to be killed by another black man, nobody would ever know his name. Exactly. If the officer were black, nobody really know his name. It wouldn't be a big deal. But since that's not the case, then that's why we know about him, and that's what's caused this whole pandemonium as we see it right now in the States.
And I have some advice for these Black Lives Matter activists. Democrats and liberals do not care about they don't care about black lives. They only care about your vote.
That's right.
And as far as Donald Trump deploying the military, he's doing it to protect people.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're saying it's unconstitutional. Oh, no, it's not. If your state can't protect you, someone has to. If your mayors can't, if your governors can't, if your county mayors can't, someone has to.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. That's for sure.
Yeah, and there is a lot of protest happening in London as well, where all these people are virtue signaling about, social distance. You have people on top of each other beating up policemen.
That's crazy. It's like, how do you go from we got to stay 6 feet apart to I'm going to beat up a police officer by being on top of him? It doesn't make any sense at all.
So yeah, they're protests, or should I say, well, they're currently protests so far, but I can see it getting violent. It's only a matter of time.
Right, I'm with you on that, man. But hey, I gotta wrap up the show here. Thank you for the call as always. Definitely
Nice
appreciate you.
catching up with you, ABL.
Oh, likewise.
I shall speak to you on what day is it today? Oh yeah, I shall speak to you on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday your time, Saturday my time. I got you, boss.
Yeah, I'll speak to you then.
All right, now take care.
Peace.
Peace. All righty. That will be a wrap for me. I thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you. I'm past my time, actually. You guys know I like to be really on time, getting out like right at 11, 8 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Eastern. I like to be on time like that, but I have to read super chats and then I wrap it on up, put a bow on the top. Thank y'all for being here. If you could not get on, I'm sorry. The phone lines were jammed up tonight. I'm going to try to do better by getting everybody on as soon as I can. But I'll be back here live again Saturday from 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully, we do the show with Tatum and Derek and everybody else tomorrow on Tatum's channel. I'm gonna hit him up tonight and be like, yo, we got to do the show again tomorrow, sir. Because the first one we did has 100,000 views on it. A live stream with 100,000 views with 4 guys just talking about what's going on. So I think we're going to do that again. That's my objective. And I want to make that be like a show, a for real show. So you have my show as normal, but then also I'll be like a panelist on a different show. So that'll be what we do. So yeah, that'll be coming up tomorrow if we do it. And if we do it, I'll notify you over here. I'll probably put it in the community tab on the website, so you'll see that in your news feed. Alrighty, so super chats, I'm gonna read those, and then I got a tip on out. And again, thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you. If you like the show, if you enjoyed the show, give me a thumbs up, like the video. Also, if you are not subscribed yet and/or a first-time viewer, go ahead and subscribe right now and click that bell. If you click that bell, you get notified whenever I go live or post a new video. Alrighty, so let's go. First things first. Hold on 1 second, let me get myself together. And let's go to the top. All right, we got quite a few super chats. You guys have been great. Let me see. Wow, where am I at? Okay. Shout out to Damien from the Bronx who says Marxist ideology injected into our youth. I think I read that one. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Will Redding who says I was still trying to recover from the Corona hangover while they started it up. Yeah, I was reading that earlier too. Hey, take a vacation, man. Take your time. Thank you for that. Shout out to Cuddy who says popped in because I heard about hashtag amplify me, amplified melanated voices, and hashtag mute the white noise. And I think you should get into it. My twin sister thinks I'm racist too. That's crazy. How does your twin, like somebody else called in, is like their twin brother and they racist. You have a twin that thinks you're a racist. How does that work? Aren't you guys like the same? Or I'm ignorant, so pardon me. But thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to a definition of anarchy who says, you think people with drugs in their system should be off by cops because they might not be a model citizen? Who said that? Ain't nobody say that. You said that. I'm just saying, if you have drugs in your system and you're not a model citizen, then maybe that could have contributed to your death. Like if you are high on drugs and that can cause you to have medical problems, maybe that is part of what caused your death. Okay? And as far as people trying to praise this guy like he's some kind of model citizen, I don't think so. When you put a gun to a pregnant woman's belly and robbed her, okay, and beat her with the pistol, I don't think that guy should be the guy you put on T-shirts like it's some kind of character from, you know what I mean, like a Jesus himself. I don't think that's what you're supposed to be trying to idolize. But thank you for the donation. Shout out to Bubbly Babs L who says, I like how you listen, observe, and think instead of being overreactive. I feel you were quite brave for voicing your opinions. So thank you for that. I appreciate you. I try to just be, balanced and just take my time and think about things. I'm glad you recognize that. Shout out to the definition of anarchy who says, we need to unite for freedom, government overreach. Thank you for that. Thank you to Super Dodgeboard 93 who says, thanks ABL for what you do. You are number one news source. I appreciate you. Shout out to Barney Rubble who says, what do you think about General Mattis' recent article? I've not read that yet, but I did see something about it. It was a kind of a negative against Trump, but I've not read it yet. Thank you for that. I'll take my headphones off. Get that first feeling. Shout out to Harley Rider 1 who says, what happened to climate change? Hey, that's gone like the dodo bird. That ain't around no more at all. Shout out to Dwayne Mosley for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you to Robert Howden who says, love the show, God bless. Thank you for that. Thank you to Mandatory Carry who says, not brown shirts, Squad Aristi. I have no idea what that is, but it sounds kind of crazy. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Eliza Jean, who says Trudeau just bought 37 million syringes. Wow. Is that $1 each or what? Thank you for your donation. What's he going to do with that? Give them to all dope fiends in Vancouver? What's going on? Shout out to Kelly Williams, who says, shoot, at this point, they could walk Biden across the room and he would think he had gone on vacation. Exactly. Thank you for that. Thank you to Definition of Anarchy, who says, haha, you don't like peaceful protesters? Nah, the point about the protesters in this particular case is that they're all kind of coming together and creating an environment for the non-peaceful protesters. That's the whole issue. You know, in this particular case, we've been protesting for a long time and there's no end game. People just want to be out there. And when there's no end game, when there's no objective, when there's no goal, when there's no organization, what ends up happening is you have lawlessness that persists. That's the whole thing that you may be missing. Thank you to Steve Kelly, who says, hashtag moron celebrities. Exactly. Thank you for that. Thank you to Charles Turner Jr., who says, two ridiculous quotes from libtards. Richard Goodstein downplayed why police should be proactive today on Harris Faulkner's show. I think I saw that. Yeah. Gavin Newsom mentioned how institutions oppress so-called people of color. I hate that term, by the way. And thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. People of color, that's the same thing as colored people. It's just backwards with an of in the middle. Shout out to Rick Turner for becoming an ABL supporter, ABL superstar. All righty, thank you for that. Shout out to Steve Kelly, who says, by the way, I just turned 21 for the 31st time today. Happy birthday, man. I appreciate your 31st, 21st birthday. Shout out to Random Jasmine, who says, these people act like they can't double dutch. You can talk about both issues in the black community, and we did that until 2009. Thank you for that. Very good point. Shout out to Miss Bliss, who says, thanks, ABL, real journalism with the trophy. I appreciate you. Thank you to Sean, who says, love your channel, ABL. God bless. God bless you as well. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to NY Rodriguez, who says, anyone know of a reliable source to learn about more American history, I suppose? HX, if they're tearing down statues and censoring the internet, books are next. Just want a hard copy of history before that's changed too. Very good point. I may need to put up a section on the website or do a video about some good information to get your hands on before they burn it up. Because Amazon, places like that, if they monopolize the way you were able to get books, it might be a problem. Shout out to Ella Afro, who says, thank you, ABL, for spreading the truth. America is super close to being called Airstrip 1. Oh, man. Thank you for that. Shout out to my man, Tariq, who says, this is Tariq 214. I answered your call. Shout out to Troll Boy, who says, I just found out something's for chickens. 18 months of training wasted. Yeah, that was a good little troll one. Thank you for that. Thank you to Kevin Brady, who says it was Dr. Fauci that was on that date. Shout out to Captain Slaymore, who says, when you put street cred before your future career and don't apply yourself in school, you can always blame white supremacy and systemic racism. The left and the mainstream media got your back. There you go. Shout out to you for that. Thank you for that. And shout out to my man, Tariq. I got your call. And thank you to Jay Travis Stroud, who says we need to brave up and speak out against some of the toxic elements in our culture. Black lives will matter when Black lives matter to Black people. There you go. All day long. Speak out against it. Shout out to Twin Glocks, who says 170 plus Black men killed in Chicago so far this year, victims of other Black men. But hey, who cares about that, right? Exactly. Who cares about that? Black on Black crime, all those Black deaths, everybody mama crying at the funeral. Who cares about that, right? Because it was not a white man that did it. Thank you for the donation and your very astute point of view and your observation. Shout out to Son of Scotland 90, who says, my man ABL, you've been nailing it this past week. We can't let the left divide us with fake racism. I got your back. All the way from Scotland, as William Wallace would say, freedom. There you go, all day. Thank you for that. Shout out to Nippon, who says that the victim was white, the left would say nothing. P.S. You're not ignoring me, are you? Thank you for your donation. Shout out to KABA, who says, I wonder if Chrissy Teigen's proud she bailed out degenerates like the thug with the pretty tattooed across his neck, that crazy pooper in Utah. Now, okay, was that person pooping for real, or what was like? I saw a picture, and I'm not gonna put it right here because somebody's butt cheeks were out, but it appeared like they were doodling on a car that was overturned. Like the car was overturned, right? Just so you could see my hand. It was like car was like this. So the back wheels were elevated and the hood, you know how the overturned car is like this, where the hood is kind of like down that way, and the hood is like that. The wheels are up. She was like in the center of that with her pants down in a squatting position. I'm like, are you doodling? What's going on? It was crazy. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to Richard Everett, who says, former BLM Ferguson organizer Chazio Sons exposed BLM, Democrats, Antifa, etc. Did a YouTube video. Did you see it? What's your take if so? I saw like a thumbnail of that, but I've not seen the full video. Might have check it out. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Shalanda Tamikia, who says, if Kaepernick taking a knee against U.S. symbol of freedom, what a horrible message of weakness for Joe Biden to send by taking a knee against Americans. Oh, man. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to S. Atkinson, who says, how did they even know George Floyd was killed because he was black? This is just anarchy pushed by socialists. Keep up the great work. Love from Memphis. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. And you know what? It's not even about him being killed by the police. It's not about him being black. Now it's about that being an excuse to go out here and just loot, steal, act a fool. Shout out to Great Informer, who says, ABL and Patriots in the chat, please get on Clout Hub and Parler. These are new free speech platforms that are looking to rival Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for that. Shout out to Hammerhead, who says, will the murder of Mr. Floyd affect President Trump numbers while with the African American community? No, that's not going to affect it. If anything, it will affect him. Well, I take that back. It could affect him because people are starting to see the riots and the chaos, and they're understanding who's behind it, who's not behind it. And if your store got looted, your grandmama and got killed by a protester, and you see who's on the side of the protest, who's not, then it might kind of sway some people. So thank you for your donation. Shout out to Mike Oba, who says, yo, check out Tucker Carlson's clip on Fox YouTube. Laid out the number of police killings exactly the way you've been saying. I'm going to check that out. And I got to watch that. I've been seeing it on my Twitter feed. I'm going to check that out for sure. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Great Informer, who says ABL and Patriots. Get on Cloud Hub. I read that one. Shout out to XX John War Robot for your donation. Shout out to Justin Miller, who says, if you had to pick one group to go away with forever, or go away in general forever, who would you choose? BLM, Antifa, or DNC? That is a great question. DNC. Because the DNC are the enforcement arm of BLM and Antifa. Well, it's the other way around. Antifa and BLM are the enforcement arm of the DNC. Without the DNC, BLM and Antifa would be less effective. That's a very good question. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Great Valley One, who says, thank you for your great content and common sense in these crazy times. Hey, thank you for doing what you do, because I couldn't do it without you. Most certainly appreciate you. And shout out to XX John Robot for your donation. All right, I got everybody. You guys are fantastic. The best audience on the whole internet. Thank you to all the moderators doing a great job. We got Elijah Jean, we got Michelle Abe, we got Bill from the Hills, we got Killer Sushi, we got True Helper, we got Zealand Zen, we got everybody. Shout out to my man Ken Bone. You a mod now, sir. If you hear my voice, you're a mod now. And shout out to Ansel, Shreebs, all you guys do a great job. Shout out to everybody that super chatted, that PayPal, that Patreon, that watched, that liked, subscribed, that called, that commented, that did everything. If you couldn't call, if you couldn't get in through the calls, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. I'm going to try to get you in as soon as I can on the next one or whatever. Just keep on rocking with me. So that'll be it. Until next time, which would be live again Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. And then my next video will be tomorrow, 12:30. I try to do 12:30 and 4:30 every day. So I'll see you pre-recorded tomorrow. I might do Brandon Tatum's show again live if he wants to do it, if he's available. If I can get Brandon and Derek and Damani and everybody else on it, we're going to keep on rocking tomorrow on Brandon Tatum's channel. So that'll be a wrap for now. Until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.